Sit back, relax, enjoy. We got games to talk about and some funny infighting in the console world, which will all happen now in 3, 2, 1.
A warm welcome to all you listeners who just tuned in. You're listening to the sizzling sounds of Lego City Radio. And let me tell you that the forecast for today is hot, hot, hot.
Hello, welcome back to Core, everybody. It's August 11th, 2022, and this is Core. We're talking video games, industry stuff, and more. Thanks for hanging out with us. I'm Scott Johnson with Bo Schwartz and John Jagger. Before we do anything, I'd like to share the sound Bo made when he had a fail earlier in a game he was playing.
I had a fail, eh?
Yeah, that's amazing. So I captured it. Here's the sound of that.
I knew this was coming.
Oh, there you go. He just went... Oh. You'll explain later, right? Because you're going to tell us about that game and what happened.
Yeah, it relates to a game I played, but we can whip out that sound and play it 100 times.
Yeah, like. Why the hell not? Anyway, we got that and so much more.
Sounds. What was that stuff at the top of the show? What's the game's that from?
Oh, which one? The music I was playing, or which?
No, your stinger.
The
at the
Lego.
top.
The
Lego City, everyone.
I'll tell you when we talk about games, because one of the games I played on my Steam Deck that I couldn't believe even existed. Did you guys know they made a Lego game that plays like a GTA game? Did you even know that was a thing?
No.
No, you didn't. Because neither did I.
How much like GTA is it?
Well, think of a much more wholesome. Not you can't kill hookers and stuff, and you're also a cop, so you're on the other side of the law in this thing. But it plays out just like GTA, and the game is called Lego City Undercover. I'd never even heard of it. It came out in 2017. That game is great.
So it's GTA for the kiddies.
Yeah,
like we can't do anything wrong. Everything's got to be moral. So you're a cop.
Yeah, you're a cop.
You're solving crime.
Yeah, but
right, I'm looking forward to hearing about it. This sounds
driving your car down the sidewalk as fast as you can.
It's really weird. We'll get to that though, and all the details coming up. But first, this. It's time for our headlines of the week. If you haven't seen it, the animation my daughter did around John's tongue twister talents. I don't know how else to describe it. It's been making the rounds and been having a lot of fun showing that to people. If you haven't seen it, I thought it might be fun real quick. It's only a minute, 20 seconds. I will show it to people on the thing here. Okay? So that's what we're going to do.
Good. It's amazing.
It'll be, so you chat room, you guys will see it. Everybody at home, I suggest you seek it out. It's up on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Scott Johnson if you want to see it in full glory. But she animated an exchange we had here on the show. I'm hoping she'll do more because the response has been like out of control. Everybody really wants more.
I've never had a tweet more viral. Well, it's not my tweet, but just
yeah.
I've never had my mentions blow up to the extent this one did. People really liked it.
It's pretty crazy.
I don't know where her interest is, but the follow-up that I see the most requested is Bo pooping in a lake.
Yeah, the poop in the lake one is the one I would like to see.
I don't want Carter to draw that.
Well, she'll do it tastefully.
Yeah, she'll do it tastefully.
If she wants to do it, she can do it, but it's not my first choice. But I give permission and blessing if it's
Yeah, fair
if
enough.
It means promoting our show, then fine.
The good news is we're already tracking down the audio and we're trying to get it done, but we'll see. Anyway, this is it. I'll just play this real quick. Many of you have seen it, so apologies if you've seen this a million times. You can skip ahead, and everyone at home, you'll hear the conversation, which is also good. So enjoy.
I'm pretty good at separating that stuff. That's why I'm so good at tongue twisters.
You give us an example. What do you got there? Show us.
I don't know what tongue twister do you want?
Is there a famous one we could do?
Red leather, yellow leather is a pretty popular one.
Okay, do that one. Do that.
Red leather, yellow leather, 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 red leather, yellow leather.
Holy shit.
It's no big deal.
Yeah, but...
Another hard one is ski slope. A lot of people have a hard time with that. You just go ski slope, ski slope, ski slope, ski slope, ski slope, ski slope, ski slope.
Let me try it. Ski slope, ski slope, ski slope, ski. How many is the minimum? How many could you have to do?
I think you got to do 5. Everybody says like 5 times fast.
Okay,
right?
here we go. Ski slope. Wait, what is it? Ski slope. Ski slope, ski slope, ski slope, ski slope. Shit! Hey, Bo, how fast can you say ski slope in a row? Like 5 times in a row.
Ski slope, ski slope, ski slope, ski slope, ski slope.
You and I are the same. John can do it with no problem. Oh, that annoys
He's
the
got a lot of
shit
room
out
for his tongue in his mouth, I guess.
Oh,
Rubber
nice.
baby buggy bumpers, rubber baby buggy bumpers, rubber baby buggy bumpers,
bumper.
rubber baby buggy bumpers, rubber baby buggy bumpers.
That is a really cool talent. It's for real. All right, there you go. That's the entirety.
That was brilliant. It was
It's so good. It really is good. And look, I realize I'm her dad. I'm going to be biased and be extra thrilled, but I'm actually kind of blown away by it. Like, that's how good I think it is. And
We
I
need
hope
some
she does
creators
more.
out, some people to make some gifs of some of that out there. There's some good gifs.
Oh, yeah.
And Scott, you need to clip the part where John says it's no big deal.
Oh, I did. I have it.
that is like the most meme worthy thing to come out of that. He wasn't looking the way Carter drew him, but the
No.
way Carter drew him really amplifies how it
no big
sounds
deal.
like it's no big deal.
Yeah, it's just it's no big deal.
It's a beautiful. That should be a GIF as well, like or a video.
Yeah, I
Please
definitely
make those.
clipped that out and sent a copy of it to her. I think I sent it to John as well. I think I did.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's awesome, and I love that the content inspired it. Shout out to Jamie who does the mashups. He also helped with this. He went and got the original audio, tracked it down for us, gave it to us in a chunk we could work with, and then she built it from there. And anyway, it's pretty rad.
Oh, so you lied to Patrick?
Yeah, Patrick.
Patrick was like, "There's no way this was edited, right?" You were like, "No, we're just that good, baby."
Yeah, we're just that good, Patrick. Well, technically, we didn't edit it. We just excised it.
You cleaned up maybe some dead air or something like that.
Yeah,
tighten it up,
I think
right?
when I yelled shit, there was more between that and when I asked you to do it. I think that's what was going on because
That's
you got
fine.
there.
It's okay if it's a little edited. It's
Yeah.
mostly unedited.
Yeah,
So
but
it's fine.
that was mostly an opportunity to give Patrick shit, which I always look forward to.
Yeah.
So-
But the other thing, I can tell Carter is related to you.
Why is that?
because In the beginning of the animation,
Yeah.
like John misspoke and said brain, just randomly, and she draws there's a little second where she draws the brain, and then
Yeah.
that's it. It's just flat, and I'm like, that's
Oh yeah.
that's something her old man would fixate on, right? Everyone's like, oh, he misspoke, whatever, and you're just like brain.
Yeah,
and like,
totally. You're not wrong. Let's see if I
Right
can
in the
actually-
beginning, John's like, "What do you want me to brain? I mean, do."
Yeah, right there it is on screen. It does because he does say he starts
I
to
almost
say a
say
thing,
brain teasers
Yeah.
is what I'm thinking.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I didn't.
but still, it was like she
Still, it
didn't.
just sounds weird. What do you want me to brain?
She didn't have to. That's hard work. She didn't have to do it, but she did the brain. Yeah, she does catch weird things and tends to
She picked up those little details.
doesn't like me, I guess. But anyway,
Every time I watch it, I always notice that it jumps out. I think it's
Well-
jumping out to everyone, but
Little details. The brain, the cow. A lot of people
Oh,
talking
yeah, the
about
cow.
wanting to see the cow
yeah,
that's hidden in
by the way, my friend Crofton Steers
yeah.
and my other friend Michael Hodgins that I talk about, the Bob Sacramentos of the show.
Yeah.
They very much appreciated that they drew me falling off the ski thing right away. 'Cause that's kind of my story in real life too.
your
It's
real life
actually I'm not really good at the winter sports. That's pretty much they were like laughing in recognition because it was like, oh yeah,
That's
like
about
you.
right. That's what would happen.
That's about right.
Yeah, and
For skiing as well.
and me getting chased by a bear is pretty dead on. Like that's how things go.
That's the gift.
Wait,
that's
is
the
that-
winning gift.
Yeah,
of it, I
yeah.
think, yeah.
Well, she did great, and if I know she's not listening tonight, but I'm really glad she did it. I'm glad the show inspires such creativity. Hopefully, more will happen. All right, let's get to. Hey, when's the last time you had some really good console war stuff? I should have a theme for this. Hold on a second. How about this? Let's go. I don't have anything ready. I had a good one that was lined up a while ago. I'll just play this thing about pubes.
Pube.
All right. Anyway, that's taken from an audiobook. Anyway, corporate console wars got a little bigger. Microsoft is now accusing Sony of paying block fees, in quotes, that's what they're calling it, is block fees, to devs to keep games off Game Pass. So if Microsoft's method is to go to a dev and say, hey, would you like to be on Game Pass? Here's how it works. Here's the contract. Here's what we do. Oh, yeah, we'd love that. That sounds awesome. What Sony has been doing, according to Microsoft, is going to devs who aren't currently signed and saying, hey, we'll pay you a bunch of money not to go to Game Pass. And that's it. That just means, it doesn't mean, oh, you're exclusive to Plus or you're going to come over here. We're going to be none of those deals. Just, we don't want you on Game Pass, so here's some money to stay off of there. And
Well,
yeah,
it is the case. We do need a little more information. So this is coming out of Brazil.
Yeah.
First of all, so there are degrees of translation involved, and it is something that if it turns out to be true in a really bad way, could be really bad. If it turns out to be true in a that kind of makes sense way, it's probably nothing's going to come of it. But it could be language within their own contract saying like, hey, we're gonna give you this much money. As part of giving you that money, it means you cannot put your games on other platforms, or if you want to be a part of this streaming service, you can't be on other streaming services. That would include Game Pass. The problem is we just don't know exactly what they are talking about, and because it's a translation on top of only having so much information, it could ultimately be nothing.
Could be a nothing.
But
yeah, that's true.
It's enough that it's getting brought up in court.
Yeah.
And it's not a big Microsoft Sony epic legal battle. It's just hey, we're going to look and see if Sony did this because this is not a good business practice sort of deal, and find out the truth behind it. So this will be something that will evolve over time. We'll find out more. But the ever looming, like, you're really starting to get a sense of the fear behind the Activision merger, buyout.
Yeah.
Because we are finally starting to see the real dirt going on behind the scenes. Because as we said earlier, on social media, it's just, congratulations, Sony, another great year of game, and high fives, and they're all nice to each other. Now we're starting to see the other side. What's going on in the boardroom, and it's down and dirty.
Yeah.
And it's good.
It's go time. I like it too. It's just fun to watch. But Sony, they claim in this document, they unearthed this document, translated it from Portuguese to English. It says Sony pays, this is the direct quote, Sony pays for blocking rights to prevent developers from adding content to Game Pass and other competing subscription services. They don't detail what those other subscription services are, though. But I think that's interesting. I would assume it's maybe some mobile stuff, like both Apple, Google, and now Netflix all have subscription-based game content, and some of those are exclusives because they sign them to be exclusives. In Apple's case, they all are for whatever period of time they're set for. So they're timed exclusives for the most part. They may be talking about that. So if Sony's doing that kind of across the board and it's affecting everybody's little thing, I think that could be bad for them. I don't know if it would be seen as a legal battle of anti-competitive behavior. I actually don't know. I don't know enough about that stuff. And I know we have some lawyer listeners. They'll pipe in and tell us. But would this be considered anti-competitive in the law sense? I don't mean in the obvious sense, because it is anti-competitive. But I mean, is this against laws? Is it against rules? I don't know.
It probably depends a bit on context. Like, what are they doing? Like, are companies entering a contract with Sony for streaming of their products? In other words, so Sony just did their new online rollout, the PlayStation Plus Extra.
Junior Extra Rollout.com Extra Bonus Plus. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, it seems
and we know what that entails for their games, Sony's internal games, but what about like a third party person? Like, what about the newest Assassin's Creed, right?
Right.
That's something that gets kind of handed around all the streaming platforms. You can play it all over the place, all of that. So what if Sony says, hey, we want you to be a part of, PlayStation Plus Extra. You're going to be a incentive for our people this month. And part of that contract to agree to put your game on PlayStation Plus Extra is, oh, and by the way, it can't be on any other streaming.
Well, that's totally fine, because those
seems,
already exist as agreements. And Microsoft has tons of those. Like I said, Apple does that with Apple Arcade. Like, those are normal contracts. If they were doing that, no problem. But it sounds like what they're doing is saying, there's no deal here, just to stay off of there. So here's some hush money.
Here's some money to stay away. We just don't know yet. Like, that's the thing we got to find out. We're not sure which of those it is.
Yeah.
Exclusivity is like not new.
No.
Like, are they giving this to companies that don't have any business with Sony already?
Well, in theory, yeah. They're just companies that Sony doesn't want to make a deal with Microsoft So they're not getting exclusives for themselves. That's the really key important point here. Is part of this is, when I first heard this, I went, oh well, they're just buying exclusives. That makes sense, but that's not what they're doing. Microsoft's buying exclusives. What they're doing is saying, don't go to Microsoft. So here's money to not do that. But that's it.
Yeah, but I feel like that couldn't be the case. It's like you're giving money and not getting anything out of it.
Well, you're getting
like why wouldn't you be like, well, don't go to Microsoft and we'll have you on our content pass and we'll have your game like why would you just go to a developer and be like, don't put your game on Game Pass, goodbye?
I think
like you'd have a relationship, and then exclusivity is already a thing, so that seems fair, or like fair as I understand the gaming space right now.
It's kind of like it's like mobster protection money is what it reminds me of. And I'm not ready to throw Sony totally under the bus yet because I don't think we have enough details.
I don't think so because they're not going to hurt the people. Like they're just offering money. You know what I mean? Like there's no consequence if you don't pay the protection money, right?
Yeah, well, no, that's true. But in this case, if they're doing this without the other part, and again, I don't know the legalities here, but I'm pretty sure that would be seen as anti-competitive law breaking in various parts of the world, US, UK, EU.
Yes,
I don't know about
see
South
the difference.
America.
I just think they do it already anyways. Like you can only get Final Fantasy 14 remake on, PlayStation for a year. I'm like, it's the same like that. They're blocking it from being other places by being exclusive. So I'm struggle to see, like, obviously maybe it's very technical why this is a reason to be concerned, but as an end user, I'm like, well, yeah, that's why we've been lampooning Sony. Like, they don't have a pass. They're not trying to be open on their PC in a box with their logo on it. You know what I mean? Like, so to me, the whole exclusivity thing should be like, I guess if they're going to get taken to task for telling people to not go for Game Pass, then exclusivity for console should also be abolished as well. It's the same thing in my mind.
I mean, it kind of is, except the devs in that case. That's an interesting question. See, that's why I want to know the legalities of it, because you might be right.
Yeah.
Maybe it's no different. Maybe there's.
I mean, I just don't understand.
No
like, it's okay to be like, your game is only going to be on PlayStation. Yeah. Here's some development money. Here's some money to entice you for that.
Yeah.
But if I'm just like, yo, Naughty Dog, just in case you were thinking about putting the game on Game Pass, here's 10 million. Like, what's the difference? Because that's, Naughty Dog's on the Sony environment. Like, who's getting the money, right? Like, is it like mobile? Like, is it Garena Free Fire? Is that not on anything? Especially because it's Brazil, and I know Latin America, that game is like huger than any NA game. Yeah. Is it got something to do with a big IP in the South American gaming space?
I don't know.
And so they're with neither. I still think it's okay to go to a company and pay to squat or pay to defer or something. I don't. I know there's a whole anti-competitive aspect to it from a regulatory perspective, so they may in fact be offside. But it's like not surprising to me, especially that the Sony side, because they're losing. So
yeah,
they're doing like Netflix. They're people on a plane losing their minds. Phil Spencer's just out here shopping at Cinnabon, dodging ninjas. So like,
yeah.
It's
In the meantime,
does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I actually don't know. Like that's my. I guess that's my question, because you may be right on a technical standpoint. In some countries or some geographical regions, they're going to get in trouble for something like this. But then again, if you're going to give 10 million to not go to a competitor, or 10 million to not go to a competitor and come to us and be exclusive, what is the difference? I mean, if I was
that might be why it's happening in Brazil too.
You're right.
Like the regionality of it too is interesting. But again, it's going to be something. It's a catchy headline. It's a fun talking piece. But we literally don't know almost anything about it.
Yeah.
We know that Microsoft included wording in a document claiming that their ability to expand Game Pass was being hampered by Sony paying blocking rights to prevent developers.
Yeah.
Like that's it.
Know.
That's 100% of what we know. We don't know if it was because Microsoft wanted them to be able to stream on multiple platforms, but Sony's agreements say if you stream on ours, you don't stream on anybody else's, which I think most of us would agree. If the company signs that, that's their right and decision. to do. Like, I don't think that that's particularly nefarious.
Happens in movies, right? You get exclusivity on a Netflix or something, right?
Sure.
Right.
Yeah,
But
same
but if it is something where Sony's literally just going to game developers and going, hey, here's some cash, don't put anything on Microsoft, well, maybe that's a little seedier, but we don't know which of those it is. We just know that Microsoft thinks it's a problem, but they've been throwing some pettiness back and forth in court already, because Sony said that if Microsoft gets Call of Duty, they have a monopoly on first person shooters, basically, is what they said.
Yeah.
And that's not true. They literally
No.
just bought a company that makes a first person shooter.
I don't
It's
think that claim. Well,
100%
that
not
claim will
true.
not hold up in court. I don't care how far it goes. There's no way the claim that they have a monopoly on first-person shooters holds up. No way.
No.
Now, if you're going to say they have a monopoly on currently the world's most popular first-person shooter, Call of Duty, well, then yes. But that's not the same as saying they have a monopoly on first-person shooters. There's plenty of them, including one you own, Sony. You just bought it with freaking Bungie, a big one.
Yeah, I think what they're going to ask for is not based on some technicality like that. It's going to be that it's an anti-competitive practice because one company is getting the lion's share of the revenue. So it doesn't matter whether it's a shooter or whatever it is. It's just the hose is split evenly, and the hose is going to be split very unevenly, is Sony's point of view.
As a third party
in the gaming
yes.
space.
Yeah.
Doesn't Sony do other stuff though? And aren't they owned by a parent company? Like,
No, Sony's
we're
not
talking
owned
about
by
Sony
anybody.
being smaller, but I'm like,
They're not owned.
Japanese companies are very like Byzantine. I
Sure,
thought, with,
but they're not owned by anybody. They're Sony parent, but they do other stuff. They have their TV and their movie division and all their other schmoo. They got tons of stuff going on, but they're not Microsoft level stuff. You're talking, what's Microsoft's market
Somebody
cap?
put it in the chat: 2 trillion versus 150 billion as far as market.
Yeah,
cap.
that's like me. It's like my net worth compared to Tom Cruise's net worth. Like it's just not. It's not even in the same ballpark. I mean, I'd love 100 billion, but if you're comparing the 2 trillion, that's how many Sonys is that? I can't even do the math.
Well, like, because even just looking at the Wikipedia, like who's the parent company? Like Sony Entertainment is owned by Sony Corporation of America, which is owned by Sony Group Corporation. So there's 3 Sonys.
Yeah,
right
it's
there.
all Sony.
So it's like, yeah, are we? Because we're including everything under the Microsoft thing, and then I'm like, the operating income of Sony Group Corporation is listed as being 1 billion or 8.78 billion. I'm like, that doesn't sound. They make it sound small by talking about the market caps or whatever number it is they throw it, and I'm like, I don't know. I think it's a sticky spider web of associations. I don't think it's as simple as all this.
No.
So I think they're just. I think what it is, what happens is heads start rolling, people start getting vindictive. This isn't about like Sony hurting as much as the people who work at Sony are at risk of losing their jobs or having, Sega went away, right?
Yeah.
Sony could go away, like the PlayStation could go away, and those folks are probably going to try and fight hard. Things take time to be realized. Like this whole Zuckerberg metaverse could actually turn out to be a good long-term investment. Phil Spencer and the Game Pass thing, like we were laughing at Xbox during the Xbox One period, but they were already sort of laying the groundwork for this stuff. This is the fruition of a long work cycle.
It's a long tail,
and PlayStation is so far behind, it's laughable. And they could be making desperate moves. I just think if I'm Xbox and I hear that the chief competitor, is paying people not to play with me and not getting anything else out of it, I'm like, that's great, man. Like, let's go have a party. Like, why would I stop them? I'm like, yeah, throw your money away. Get nothing of value out of it. GG, Sony. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you're really only talking about Game Pass anyway. They're still going to put whoever that third party is you paid your money to is still, the plan is they're still going to make games for Microsoft. They're just not going to put it on Game Pass.
Even if they don't get Activision Blizzard, there's going to be lots of games for them to get.
Sure.
Lots of indie developers looking for opportunities. They can start new studios if they really wanted to. Yeah. Like this is the whole David and Goliath of this is that Xbox is way ahead because they won big on their bet.
Yeah, and they've got pockets deeper than anyone even they realize it. Just they could go on
It's
forever.
that's why the ABK thing, like, they have to do this, but also it's like laughable. Like, yeah, sure, Blizzard, the big console developer. Blizzard's a mobile developer. Like, it's not like I'm JK, their PC, but they're not known for their presence on console anyway. I guess there's the Call of Duty thing. I keep forgetting about it, but
Yeah.
I think in a lot of these articles, a lot of stuff I read is that it's actually a loss for Microsoft not to sell Call of Duty on PlayStation, because there's too much risk involved in assuming everyone who buys a Call of Duty will just happily migrate to the Xbox platform.
Yeah.
So they never do it.
I don't think they will either. That's the other funny thing is, even though they've clarified and said, well, we're contracted to put so many Call of Duties out, it's like the next 2 or whatever it is, and they won't say beyond that. But I actually agree with you. I think that they'll probably continue to, and why wouldn't they? There's a lot of money to be made.
Too.
Go for it.
I think they just don't want to commit to it.
Right.
I just think they don't want to have a verbal quote unquote commitment to players, to people who could potentially buy consoles, that, oh yeah, it's going to be multi-platform. I think in a perfect scenario for Microsoft, the thing that they would prefer is, by the time the third Call of Duty that they're required to put out on all platforms comes out, there's another console generation or so coming up, and they haven't said yet whether or not it's going to be available on multiple platforms, and let people pre-order based on the assumption that it's not, and then put it out on both anyway.
Yeah.
That would be the dark, evil business doing business way to handle it. But why lock yourself in to a promise?
I agree
That you don't know.
Why would
they?
Why would they? That's stupid to expect them to. Like,
At
try to lock
best,
them in.
that's 3 years away. And I don't want to make plans for next week,
No.
let alone 3 years. I don't blame anybody for going,
Those
let's
mishaps
not
happen.
lock down. Let's lock it down.
Those mishaps happen, though. I mean, Blizzard shot itself in the foot when it agreed to exclusively stream Heroes of the Storm on Facebook. Yeah. Right? Part of the poor decision making behind that, which it's funny because we didn't really talk about it, but Bobby Kotick was, I guess, dating somebody at Facebook.
Yeah.
Around the time that the Heroes thing happened. So basically, because of his relationship, Heroes Esports took a hit.
Please tell me that isn't true.
That's
Is it true?
I don't know if that's what happened, but the timing lines up with when he had this relationship. That ended badly, by the way.
Yeah, I heard.
With a Facebook exec and the push to move. Have you heard the story about how the Tony Hawk remake came up or something like that? Like, he was talking to a masseuse or something.
Yeah.
Like, I like the Tony Hawk game. He's like, oh, I should remake that. So probably he's dating, from that interview, I extrapolated fiction, we'll say, but that he's he's hanging out with his babe from Facebook, and she's like, you're a big company. Why don't we have video at Facebook? And he's like, it's a good idea. We got this shit game, Heroes of the Storm. Why don't we put that on there?
Yeah.
Bastard.
I actually kind of agree with you.
Yeah, there you go. That was the perfect use of the tinfoil hat.
It's tinfoil hat.
There's a lot of
I'm not
evidence,
wrong about this.
There's
I
a lot
am not
of
wrong
evidence.
about this. Mainly because I saw Heroes on Facebook, and I love the developers, and I want to respect them and trash a company without insulting the developers. I've met the developers at Blizzard, at BlizzCon.
Yeah.
I would put money that nobody in the know there said, what would be a good idea? Let's put our heroes on Facebook. Like, I am so confident that had to be the biggest tool in the drawer. The biggest tool made that decision.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't think of a bigger tool in that pile of people than the Bobby Kotick.
Yeah.
Sorry, Bobby.
He's your tool. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No, I think you're 100% right. Everybody I talked to that was a person that might have been in the know seemed equally baffled by the Facebook decision. So that was clearly a decision made by people not directly involved in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what you're buying, Microsoft. Like, I don't know why Sony's complaining. They should be like, yeah, take Bobby. This is great.
You should.
This will pay off in 10 years when he's running Microsoft somehow.
He better not. If they keep him around, that is some bullshit. He's got to go, man.
There's a universe, they talk about the dark timeline.
Yeah.
There's a timeline potentially in our future where Bobby Kotick runs the world to be a Microsoft.
Gross.
Like, everyone makes Microsoft the big one company, and then he's at the head of it. And I can't even imagine how dark that timeline would be. But
I don't want to live in it.
In theory,
yeah, it exists. The timeline is a part of the great tapestry of the multiverse.
It's a big
there.
Loki.
he finds a way to, however he does it. He's like, I let Activision. I've done a good job with Activision. It's time to move on to greater projects. Microsoft will be my crowning achievement.
Yeah, please let that timeline split out away from me. I'm not interested in that at all.
We need to prune that particular timeline immediately.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, I know we kind of got distracted from the...
No, it's all right. The only other thing I wanted to add to this is a reminder that, and I was chatting with somebody in the chat about it for a second there, but Microsoft owns the entirety of all their infrastructure for Game Pass, for everything, for streaming, whatever. And Sony also has streaming and infrastructure they use to do their version of all of this, but it's literally Microsoft Azure, the same backbone that Microsoft uses. Sony pays Microsoft to get any of that done. They don't own any of that, so they're beholden to them on the back end. This is a little bit like, you can have all the fighting you want between Samsung and Apple, but the iPhone still uses some memory they get manufactured and bought from Samsung, despite their head-to-head profile in the world.
Oh yeah,
they still have to kind of rob Peter to pay Paul underneath everything, and the same thing is true in this case. Sony has to pay Microsoft to use that stuff, and their other choices are limited. It's Amazon, who I don't think they want to use, or I don't know. There's a few other big cloud services maybe, but not the kind that would give them the kind of infrastructure they need. So they're beholden to Microsoft on the back end, and on the front end, they're having this little battle, this little fight. Like I would not want to be them right now, I guess is what I'm saying.
It's all mixed in too. I mean, doesn't Sony get a piece for every Blu-ray drive that goes in a Series X?
Yep.
So, there's an exchange.
Nintendo gets money for every Rumble pack or every Rumble tech. I think they still have the. Oh wait. Did that get all split out? Because for a while there it was, and that's why the PlayStation 3s didn't have Rumble at first, because they didn't want to pay Nintendo for the... I think it's Nintendo. Aren't they the ones that own that? My brain.
I don't remember, but I do remember there being a big legal battle about the Rumble technology being a part of it. So that was something. That was the thing.
Yeah.
Also, Nintendo used to have the rights. I don't know if they still do, and people are just paying them now, or what happened. But if you had a actual plus sign, cross, whatever you want to call it, directional pad that didn't have, it wasn't rounded or anything, but that traditional NES style, Nintendo owned that as a copyright, and that's why no other controllers used it. That's why Sony has its famous buttons for a D-pad. Yeah. That's why Microsoft's was rounded and crappy for so long. Yeah. But I think somebody finally started paying them, or they lost the rights to it or something, because now you can actually see other people doing it.
Yeah, because I guarantee these 8-bit do people who I quite like. I'm holding up one of their controllers here, wireless controller. This is based on a Nintendo device, but I guarantee you they didn't pay to use this D-pad. There's no way. Wherever the hell my photo is, there it is.
Maybe nobody noticed.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. The other thing that's factoring into this equation too, and I hesitate to bring these up, but it's real, and there are articles. Just this past December, not 6 or 7 months ago, a vice president at Sony was accused of running and fired a pedophile ring within the company.
Oh yeah, I heard about that
for dark web stuff. In addition, they're having their own Activision, Me Too reckoning as well for a number of women who've spoken out about unfair job practice. So it's not just the Xbox issue that's going on. I mean, I'm not aware that, I'm sure Microsoft's not an angel, but there hasn't been headlines talking about Microsoft. A lot of companies are getting blasted for this. Sony's part of them, and it's actually been pretty quiet. I see a lot of outrage about a lot of things. I don't see that much outrage about Sony, which is funny, but it's actually, there's smoke there, I guess, on that front too.
Yeah.
So one has to imagine they're trying to get organized to compete with Xbox. They have some internal fires happening. As well.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they're still going on.
That one was fairly prominent when it came out. I feel like it has gotten quiet though since. You don't hear it harped on as much.
I think even the week it came out, it was a blip. Blizzard's been a big long boat, a big long boat ride. Yeah. Ubisoft every now and then comes up for air with more bullshit. It almost feels like this stuff kind of gets squashed on the Sony stuff because I'm like, isn't a pedophile ring bigger than what's going on at Ubi and Blizzard combined? Okay.
Yeah.
That's weird.
I wonder if it seems too unbelievable to a lot of people. Like, there've been enough pedophile rings that were fake and talked about in mainstream news and stuff, and those went away, and maybe people are like, another pedophile ring? Sure, that's what you're doing. Like, I don't know.
No, it was confirmed that this vice president was fired, terminated, and
yeah,
I don't know
running?
why.
Are we sure?
I think like I don't believe in this like science fiction scrubbing, but I think I have to imagine a company like that maybe has a little bit more of a tactical team when it comes to suppressing stories.
Yeah.
The stories got out, but they didn't.
Be true.
Yeah.
And if it didn't light up Reddit or catch on fire somewhere, or maybe just like I don't know. It's shocking to me that
I didn't even know about it. This is the first I've heard of it. So
I think you hear most
wow.
about Blizzard because people actually love that company. Most companies aren't loved. Like we know BP's probably still pumping oil somewhere. That happened years ago. In some ocean. Like. Stuff comes and goes, holds our attention because it's in the media for a little while. There's some causes, and then they still do it, but it's not part of the discussion anymore. I think Blizzard, a lot of the reason Blizzard has lingered so long as a discussion is because people genuinely love that company.
Yeah. Or
like
did.
no other company.
Yeah.
And they even love to bash it. They love to, whatever it is, they love it and have a strong, strong attachment to it in a way that's unusual, I think.
What if the reason that historically PSN has been slower to download content was because this guy's sex ring was taking all the bandwidth? What if that happened?
I want to think about that.
That was a plot line on Silicon Valley.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that
What's
show.
his name? Jung Yoon. So the last season, Pied Piper's trying to do a thing, and their bandwidth's getting eaten up, and Jung Yoon has hired underage girls to make a troll farm back at the house, and he's using up they accuse him of using up the bandwidth.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
Anyways,
have not seen
that
that
was
show.
a plot line in the Mike Judge created show, Silicon Valley, which is, I like that show. It fell off. I wish they'd still do it. It can be pretty good.
I mean,
I like
canceled it, or not canceled it. They just ended it, and then they moved.
Yeah, it's like season 6 of 7 episodes. I have one more to go, but I really like that show. It was
I like everything Mike Judge does. I love the new Beavis and Butt-Head series. It's freaking amazing. I'm so glad he's back to that
there's
stuff.
a new Beavis and Butt-Head series.
Yeah, dude.
I never watched the original, but I'm on board to kind of get into it if they're making new ones.
All the old ones are on there, plus the new movie, which brings them to 2022, and then the new show kicks off. And their very first episode
I wondered about that because it got to the end, and I realized near the end of that movie, I was like, this whole movie exists to relaunch the show, doesn't it?
It did. You're absolutely right. It was an 1.5-hour relaunch pilot, basically.
It was basically like The Wizard for their own
Yeah.
TV show.
Yeah.
Like, it just
And now they've got
trailer for our television
this first
series.
episode. I think 3 are up right now, but the first one, the one I saw, they're trying to get out of an escape room, which is a very 2022 thing. And it's great. They think the escape room is the men's room at the place that has the escape room, and they think a turd in the toilet is a clue.
No!
It's great. It's everything you want from Beavis and Butt-Head. It's great. It's great.
All right, I didn't realize the series was out.
They start as 3. They're 3 in. I don't know how many they're doing for the first season, but they're 3 done. Oh, here's the other great thing, John. You know how back in the day they would do a chunk of the story and then they would fade and then they would do music videos, right? Do commentary while they watched a thing of Nirvana or whatever. And I thought, what are they going to do now? Are they going to even try that? Like, what's the plan? They're doing YouTube videos because they live here now.
Yeah.
So they watched this reaction video of some lady getting accepted into some Ivy League college with her mom sitting there next to her. And they just watched the reaction video. And it's literally hilarious. It is so funny that they did this instead of more music. It's great. It's freaking great.
Sense.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
And they don't have to worry about as much copyright crap and all that. It's great. Anyway, moving on. We'll see how that goes. We'll follow it. We'll find out what's up. Diablo 4 alpha footage got leaked, and this caused, speaking of Blizzard, this caused a big stink and a kind of some damage control on Blizzard's side of things. It confirmed, first of all, that the Friends and Family alpha is happening, which I think a lot of us knew was true. At least I had heard it was going on. And someone probably just lost their friends and family rights. Is my guess.
Apparently, the name or there was some traceable information is posted in the screenshots.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I don't know why you would do that, but you did. My guess is it's probably more friend than family, but who knows?
It might have been, I have a code here. I'll let you play. Don't do anything dumb with it, and then.
Yeah,
Who's
you know what I
this
mean?
user M Morheim playing Diablo 4 and posting it onto YouTube?
Yeah,
Jeez.
this M Morheim, this M Met or C Metzen. Who's that? Yeah, I don't know what to think about this other than of course they cracked down on it and they would and should. I don't think much in those screenshots got shown. I mean, it's.
Yeah, I was about to say that too. I'm like,
we already kind of know.
It's a good leak. Like, yeah, you don't want it leaked, but it's like it's character creator, like, and it's just it's just some
basic,
overweight druids looking like blah. Like, like you didn't really leak anything too important there.
It wasn't much. I didn't even seek it out, honestly. I'm at a place with the game where I kind of need to just know what the finished product is. There's enough stuff I'm excited about because I love Diablo. There's enough stuff I'm worried about because they are definitely changing the formula in some ways that I think are very important to me for that game. So that I have a lot of concerns. I got a lot of things I'm excited about, and I just kind of need to see how it all ultimately comes together before I can really judge where my anticipation is. Especially because, who knows what it looks like post-launch. Like, how much are they banking on this being a game as a service or ongoing game, whatever you want to call it? If that's a heavy pillar for them, it's not a pillar they have supported very well in the past. And so that immediately raises some questions too. But
we'll find out soon. Fall's around the corner, and fall is closer to 2023. Only 4 months to go. And 2023 is when stuff happens.
The open beta is soon-ish. I think that'll happen before the end of the year. So that's why I'm saying.
You think open beta before end of year?
Oh, I think so. Yeah.
Open beta.
Well, maybe not open, but
Closed,
a beta
maybe?
that people can stream, and it may still be selected.
Oh, okay. I'd be happy to hear that.
I think that's happening, and it's happening. That's why I don't think this leak's that big a deal, because I think they're coming up on that anyway. And usually, friends and family. Even alpha, maybe this is alpha. Is it alpha or beta? I don't know. I guess it's alpha.
They called it an alpha.
Okay. Friends and Family Alpha in the past, and I was part of the World of Warcraft one in 2003. I was part of the Frozen Throne in 2003 as well, I guess it would have been. What was the other Blizzard one I got in on? Can't remember.
Were you in the beta for Diablo at all, or Alpha 3?
I don't think so. No. Not
I know I bought in with a lot of people who subbed to WoW for it, I think.
Yeah, that's when I bellied up and paid because I thought that was a good deal. It was a good deal. But anyway, the way those things usually work is they usually are right around the corner for more public showing. So I don't know. I think this is actually good PR for them in a weird way. Even though it sounds like, we're going to stop this from happening, but I don't think it's that. I don't think they're that worked up.
I mean, the scale of the kind of leaks they've seen, this is,
pretty minor.
It's pretty minor.
They've shown a lot of stuff about that game. It's not like we don't know 90% of what we're seeing. These character creation, we already know all the characters, for example. There's no missing characters, I think, right? Hold on.
Yeah, I think they said what all the classes are in the game.
We have all of our five launch classes are sorceress, rogue,
barbarian,
druid,
necro, druid. That's it.
Yeah.
The 5 are there. So since we know the necro, since then there's no need to hide that. So it's just not a big deal. All right. And also the other thing is I don't think somebody asked me today on Twitter, do they think it would delay the production? I'm like, no, this doesn't stop anything.
No.
They're not going to go up. Time to redo everything. Someone showed the character
This just
creator.
makes people in PR have shit bricks and have a lot of work to do. I don't know, figuring out how it happened and cleaning up the mess. But
yeah, the bricks, those bricks, they don't just, they melt. They're gross.
They shit bricks.
Yeah, they shit bricks.
They hurt because they come out, the bricks don't mold.
They come out sideways. Check this out. Less than 1% of Netflix subscribers play their new sub games, which is still 1.7 million daily active users. That's actually a decent number. And they get some pretty good games in there. But that's a lot lower, I think, than Netflix would like. It's low. They're absolutely terrible at marketing these games and how they work. They're terrible at it. And I don't know why they're so bad at it. Hire one person at Netflix who can freaking run that division in a better way, because right now it's stupid. And here's the crime. There are multiple great games on there. They just got the new version with all the new added stuff, which is almost like a whole new game, of Into the Breach. And you just get to play it. And Into the Breach is an amazing mobile game because it plays perfectly with a touchscreen. You don't need anything else. It's great. The game point...
It's on mobile?
Yeah, that's on mobile, and it's totally free of any
Netflix
microtransactions.
Mobile has Into the Breach for free.
If you're a Netflix subscriber, yes. That is correct.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I know. It is amazing. It is amazing. And also, this Pointy game that the Downwell guy made, I'm telling you, that is a fantastic effing game. Perfect for mobile in terms of how it plays. And not enough people know about it because they don't market this thing right. They've got other stuff. They've got a version of Moon. Oh, what's that name of the game? Hold on.
Moonlighter. One where you own a shop and you go adventure.
Yes, I love Moonlighter. It's a fantastic game. And they've got that full-blown version of that. They've got a whole bunch of other stuff as well, and they just don't market
this. Is like an Xbox competitor. Like they're entering into the ring with PlayStation and Xbox. Obviously,
it would be if they could do it correctly.
The scale's not there, but the intent is that. Is it only phone or is it on TVs too?
It's only phone.
It's just mobile. I mean, it works on tablets and stuff. It's fine.
Yeah, which is like Netflix is a company that continues to succeed even though they're going down right now in spite of itself. Like they are the poster child for if you're the first person to do something, sometimes you can lock it in and do a really shitty job and continue to be popular and successful. Like I didn't know that this had actually launched. I had heard news stories that it was coming. But they do such a bad job. There are days where I know something new has launched on Netflix. I knew the date because I read it somewhere else. I went to Netflix and I wound up having to search to find it. You would think it would be featured somewhere on their main page, that there would be an easy way to find it and play it. Nope. Got to search for it and then got to go digging through it. Netflix is so bad at parsing things. Not all the time. Let me tell you, Stranger Things... You'll know that they're doing a new season of Stranger Things.
Oh, yeah.
Marketing team on fire for that. They'll take over your web browser and make every website redirect to strangerthings.com. But like, if you like something that isn't their number one top priority thing, who the hell knows if you're ever going to find it? And the fact that it's only tied to mobile is weird. And the way you get the games is weird. And like everything about the process is odd.
Yeah.
They picked all the games the Unity CEO would tell them were stupid games too. Like if you're only doing mobile games and you pick games that you buy once and play on your service, the games that are doing well on mobile are,
Yeah, but the reason they do these,
Shadow Legends.
That's the reason they do these, though. Same with Apple Arcade. So this is more. We mentioned Game Pass.
That's why I asked if it was on TV because
it is. It's like Apple
sit
Arcade
on a TV or computer with Moonlighter.
Yeah,
but
and it is.
Why would I do that with the phone and Moonlighter?
If you have an Apple TV, and I think some Google devices do this as well, whatever your platform is, you can play these on a television, and you can play them with a controller even. So you can do that, but it's not as simple as, well, what if I want to just play this on Steam? Or what if I wanted to download it to my Xbox? It's not one of those kinds of services. This is you're playing that game that you would play on mobile on your TV if you have a device like an Apple TV or something else that'll let you play these games on a television. That's possible. The competition here isn't Game Pass. The competition here is Apple Arcade. And as far as I'm concerned, Netflix already has better games in their lineup than Apple Arcade does. And there's some decent games in Apple Arcade, but I think, and they've got more right now because they're ahead of all this, but the Netflix games are better pound for pound games. And they're more core gamer games as well. And they're shit terrible at letting everyone know where they are and how to get them. Just terrible. Yeah. And it's actually not hard. I can go search for it
intuitively. So I decided to try this. I was like, okay, let me see if me, a dummy that's learning about all this from Scott, let me see how this process works. So I pulled up Netflix. I was able to find the game section again because I was looking for it. But honestly, the way they have kind of featured it, my brain is programmed that when there's something like the way it looks on the mobile app, it just read as an ad to me.
Mhm.
And if I wasn't looking for games, I would have skipped over it thinking, oh, this looks like an advertisement for something I'm not interested in.
It does. It
So,
does. There it is. Right
I
there.
scroll through it, I find Into the Breach,
Yeah.
I tap it, it tells me a little about the game, all the details, all of that, what's needed. You say get game, and then it launches the Apple App Store, which isn't working right now. So it tries to launch the App Store to get me the game.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. I got it. So now I download the game from the App Store for the Netflix Into the Breach.
Yeah.
This seems so stupid.
Oh, they phoned it in. You got to go to the Apple App Store to get your free Netflix game.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is.
Here's
a train wreck.
But here's the thing. What you're asking for is, and I'm not saying I'm not saying I agree or disagree. But what you're asking for is, well, you should be able to play these games in Netflix, and that does make intuitive sense, right? Like, well, they're Netflix games. I should play them in Netflix. That's the environment.
Yeah.
That's where I should be at. And all they really done is say, here, go get those games, which, by the way, you can just search the App Store for anyway. I can go search for Into the Breach, and the Netflix version of Into the Breach is there, and I can download it. The kicker is none of these games play until you log in, and it says, are you a Netflix member? You say, yeah. Do you want
I have to log in.
Well,
with
you don't have to log in the
Netflix.
traditional way because it knows that you're already logged into the app.
Oh, does it?
It does.
No,
Does it,
apparently
Scott?
doesn't.
Mine does.
Does it know
John's
that?
complaining.
Mine did that. Mine
No,
said
mine
mine
doesn't
said you're
do
already
that.
logged in. You're good to go, and I just went, so I didn't have to put any numbers in or anything. But maybe it's different.
That's too complicated.
But either way, my point is
I'm removing it from my phone. It's garbage.
the point of it is it's not the most intuitive thing in the world. Absolutely not. Am I glad they're doing it? I think I might be, because mobile games are such shit now that are the ones you just download for free and then have to pay for gems and bullshit. I've had it. I'm done with that stuff. What I like is games where they're just good games and they're well made and they're a game. And these are those. And so are the Apple Arcade ones. And I like those. And since I'm already paying for Netflix anyway and will probably be in perpetuity, well, great. They're just a thing that's available to me. It'd be a billion times better if I didn't have to be totally up on this news to even know about it. Otherwise, like John just finding out about it, no one knows really how it works for sure. The fact that you have to, you download it through the App Store and not through the app itself is weird and a little off-putting. But then at the same time, I don't want to go to Netflix to play games. So
They're not treating the
it's
games
weird.
with a lot of respect or deference. Like, I hope they're getting a good bag. I'd hate for them to be doing program work to support the Netflix stuff, only to be getting like a couple grand or something.
And,
like I hope it's profitable for the developers, because I just what would be the point of anyone even being involved with it if it was a lot of where I don't know. It's just
So we have Baba Bebop in the chat saying Apple doesn't allow alternate app stores, so you couldn't download an app from Netflix because of Apple's TOS. I understand that. I understand why they have to do it, but it's like going to a place, right? Like going through a fast food place, and for some reason, the drive-through window is on the roof of the building. You can drive around the building. You just have to climb up a ladder, and then they'll give you your food up on the roof. Like, just because that's the way that building is designed and has to work doesn't mean I want to go through that process. It doesn't make it okay.
Apple needs to smarten up too. Like, all those cell phone guys need to smarten up and let people, like, they're basically computers. Like, let people use them like they use computers if they want. Like the Steam Deck, you can load your own OS on there if you want and do other stuff. If you want.
Yeah, there's an easier way. Like, take down the ladder, stop selling food on the roof, and just accept that you're not a business or in a position to offer this particular service if you can't do it well.
Yeah,
like, that's my take.
I mean, I agree. I mean, the thing is, Netflix, they're not a publicly traded company, so they have no compulsion to tell
private?
us. No, they're private, still private, but they don't have any compulsion to come out and go, we made this much money on the games division. Like, they don't have to do any of that. All they have to do is quietly do it. They even bought some developers. They bought the Oxenfree developers and That's a widely respected indie title, and they want to. In fact, you can already play Oxenfree on there, and Oxenfree 2 will also be on there. But I think they're also releasing that everywhere else because they contractually had to. But everything after that, they're going to be exclusive Netflix game developers. So they're serious enough to do that, but I just feel like on the front end, they're not serious enough to make it stick. It's really weird. Yeah. It's really weird.
And it's a personal pet peeve of mine because I run into it in my professional life, but like I just have this strong opinion of if you're not even going to try to do something remotely right, maybe just don't try to bother with it. Like, especially if the people that are negatively impacted by it are the people you're selling it to. Yeah. Like, if you want to make it cumbersome for not the customers, go for it. Do what you got to do.
So Netflix is traded on NASDAQ. Does that still make it private? Or does that have shares?
Well, now that you say that, I thought they were still private. Did I have that wrong? Hold on. Netflix.
Because I compared to Valve, like I'm looking at the Wikipedia pages, like it typed private.
Maybe I'm thinking of that. Maybe I'm thinking of Valve because I know Valve is that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe founders, but if it's traded on the NASDAQ and S&P 100 and 500.
Yeah, I think they're public. You're right. I don't know. I think I mixed them up with Valve like a dumbass. Okay. So even then, though, actually, that's good news, or at least that would lead me to think that during an earnings call, they're probably going to have to reveal how that thing's going.
Darts on a board. Shit, we didn't plan ahead. Maybe this will work. It's got a flavor of reseller business on here. Like, you know, I think like I would rather give money to Into the Breach like through a store and just pay for the ad. You know, these indie games are not expensive.
Sure.
In fact, did I include this article in here this week? Yeah, we're going to talk about it in a bit. There's an argument to be made that actually gaming is the cheapest it has ever been in the history of prices.
Oh, 100% is. If you account for inflation, which is the whole point of your story. Yeah.
Well, there you go. There's a sneak preview. If you calculate inflation, essentially, even if the price goes up, it's still cheaper than you've ever paid for a video game in your life. So quit your crying.
Even your $60 games right now. It's the cheapest they've ever been.
Well, we were paying more for that for Nintendo 64 games, or some roughly that for some Super NES games back in the day.
Yeah,
and that was a lot has changed since then.
Yep.
You all got 25-cent raises annually at your job, and everything went up by hundreds of dollars. So it's equivalent.
That's because the rich run everything.
Costs more.
The rich own the world, and we need to eat them.
Yeah.
Real quick here, I remember I bought on the Genesis my first $100 cartridge, and it was it Eternal Champions? I think they had.
No!
Yeah,
that's not even a good game.
It's
Scott.
okay. It's not great, but it's okay. It was no Street Fighter.
There's always a sense that some games just justified that high price tag because. I don't know. It was sweet or something.
They used to do that with all the Neo Geo games were all $100 or more. It was
Final Fantasy games for me were in the 100. Like they were always more expensive than other ones too.
Yeah,
and so there's just certain games where that, and it didn't always have to make sense that certain games were designated as expensive.
There's probably
you paid $100 for Eternal Champions. Look at the box art.
It's not great.
Yeah, it's got like a Wesley Snipes kind of guy on here.
Yeah, there was a Snipes kind of guy. They had
I like that as soon as Scott said, or as soon as Bo said, "I'm looking at the box art," Scott kind of backed up a little bit. Was like, "It's not good.
It's not
like you don't have to look at the box art." I remember what Eternal Champions.
Compared to games of the time, like it's pretty sweet box art, probably like. Compared to other Genesis games of the era.
They were trying to Sega was trying to make their own new fighting games franchise that would like compete with Street Fighter and stuff. And so it was really hyped and people were so stoked about it. And when I got it, I was like, yeah, man, Sega's going to show them all. Instead, I was like $100 poorer as a result. That's all. It wasn't that great. I still have that game I have the ROM somewhere. I played it the other day. It's not great. It's okay though. I don't want to say it's the worst fighting game because it's not. It's okay, but it's viciously.
They have a Jax ripoff named Rax.
Yeah, Rax.
And he literally has metal arms, and he's a white guy, and but he's got a Kano eye. Like, did this predate Mortal Kombat?
No, it was all after. All after. This was late Genesis too. This would have been like.
They were gonna do it, man.
Yeah,
we're gonna go far.
Yep, they had blast processing. They had to do it.
I see a guy with a cowboy with a rifle. That's like Errol Black or whatever from Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
Damn.
but my memory is he never uses the rifle in fighting, not even a special move or anything. He just fights, which is annoying because if you're gonna have a cool weapon, you better pull it out once in a while. It's been a while. I don't remember. I remember thinking the girl was really good and I could kick butt with her. We had our fun with it, but did we have $100 worth of fun? I don't know. Probably not.
Shadow. Yeah. There's a Skeletor. I'm looking at the hero select screen. There seems to be some Skeletor-like character.
Yeah, they were trying to mix it up. They had some developer or some part of the team was some people that worked on Streets of Rage, which was a cool brawler, and
There's a Pharaoh too. It looks like
they tried. It wasn't a big enough roster, and also the single player was nothing. So it was mostly just about sitting down and fighting your friends. Also, the game was infinitely better with a 6-button controller. If you had the default controller, you had to live with whatever janky, one kick, one punch, and I don't remember, maybe it was guard.
Dude, Eternal Champions is on Steam for $1.19.
Yeah, they have it there. That's a lot less than the $100 I paid. Turns out. I still have that
it went down 1,000%.
Yeah, 1,000. Wow, what a discount! Oh my gosh.
No, 100%, 99% off.
Oh yeah, 90. That's a good summer sale for Steam. Just to sell that for that much cheaper. All right, moving on. Let's talk about the live Pac-Man movie. It's coming. You guys excited about this? You gonna?
No.
John is like immediately shaking his head.
This is such a bad idea, and I love Pac-Man.
What if it's
Pac-Man's
weird?
Great.
What if it's weird, man? What if they go
Pac-Man
full weird?
is my favorite thing in the world to draw.
Yeah.
Just fun fact.
Yeah.
I have Pac-Man emojis in my chat just because I like drawing it.
I like him too.
But
like him too.
this is stupid. They tried it with pixels and nobody went and saw that movie.
Yeah.
They put it in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. It's one of the worst parts of that movie.
Did they?
Yeah. When Peter Quill can turn and manifest anything he wants, he manifests a giant Pac-Man.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Oh,
he did.
Well, in context, that makes sense because he would have played it or something.
Everybody just steals from him and Wreck-It Ralph.
Okay.
Like, none of it's good.
John, what if Pac-Man looked like what I'm putting in the Discord? I drew this years ago, but what if he looked like that, and it was live action, but the guy was wait, why didn't that work? There we go. But he looks like this guy. Would you watch
Everybody
that movie?
else is live action.
Yeah,
and it's just him.
It's just him,
Is
and then
he
guys
working in an office.
I don't know why I made him dress
He's
that
in the
way.
Breaking Bad universe.
I don't know why I put him in a tie and a
Like
shirt.
that. I love the art, but that is a like tertiary character to like some like office comedy. Like,
are you auditioning to be the villain in the
Oh,
Pac-Man movie right
you
now?
remember the guy in Office Space who does the jump to conclusions, Matt? And he's like very neurotic that he's gonna get fired all the time.
Yeah.
That is 100% the voice and personality of this Pac-Man.
I think that's fair. All right, so here's what I think they can do. They got to go real weird with it. They got to put it in the hands of somebody who's willing to go a little psycho and make something that's not even good for kids or families. Just make a weird ass Pac-Man movie, color the main guy yellow, and have him running around eating shit. Whatever. Just you can go nuts with it.
How do you make that good movie? Like, do you have a pitch, Scott? Like,
I really don't. I mean,
I know you're like, make it weird, but like, just think about writing it. Like, your source material is there's a maze, you got ghosts, you got a big orange sphere with a mouth. Like what are we writing? You know?
Well, if they do orange,
Like,
that'll be not
is it like a
canon.
Detective Pikachu thing? You know, I haven't seen that either, but I just assume he joins the police.
See, and that worked somehow. That kind of worked.
Yeah, because he was a Pikachu and not a goddamn Pac-Man.
All right.
Like, should we go to the world of like, should it be an Earth plot where it's like, oh my God, you're a big yellow thing, and the human has to interact with the Pac-Man and learn from each other, or do we just set the movie straight up in the kingdom of Pac-Man?
I feel like we're writing Carter's next animation of
like
us discussing
Pac
things.
persons.
I don't know.
Right.
Like, I don't know what the pitch is. Make a proper animated Pac-Man.
Maybe Pac is short for like the race of that species, which is like Pacaloopas.
Pacaloopas.
Here we are at Pacaloopa car, and all the Pacaloopas live in perfect harmony. But one Lupa, well, he's a little toxic masculine guy. Calls himself Pac-Man because he's the alpha of all the Lupas.
Yeah.
And he fell into a hole because the ghosts of his parents and dead kids chased him. And he ended up in this maze and can't get out. And everyone's looking for him. But he has to rely on his own wits to escape his dead... Are they his family members? I don't know. But
I don't think so. I don't think
why
they were
do
ever his
the
family
ghosts
members.
look like the way they do? Like, to me, they look like the sphere things with drapes over them, right? So they would be Pac-A-Lupas as well.
Yeah. I mean, maybe in theory. I think that all that lore is covered in other places, but mainly my point is, why go live action? Like, just animate this. You can do that.
I guarantee you, there's two ways they go. They either go what every old video game movie was, which was either someone gets pulled into a video game or the video game gets spit out into reality.
Yeah.
Or they go the new route, which is there's a creature. Maybe he's from space. Maybe he's from cyberspace. I don't know, but he's a cute, pixelated yellow blob that likes to eat dots. And it's like Baby Yoda, but he's Pac-Man. And he's going to start eating dots, and he's going to start getting bigger. And then he's going to get bigger. And then he's going to get bigger. And then all of a sudden it's going to be like, oh no, is he going to eat the planet? We got to stop him. But the power of family reminds him that he just wants to be a good Pac-Man boy, and then he goes home.
Wow.
The end.
Wow.
Like it's just gonna be stupid.
Yeah.
I'm not excited about it.
We already had this
It's
movie in
not gonna
Sonic, and we've seen this movie a number of times now, right? We don't. I would rather have watch them try to bang other Pac-A-Lupas. Like, how do they have sex?
Yes.
Like, how do they procreate?
That's what I'm saying. Get weird with it. Go weird.
Yeah. Like, do they have duck dong? Like
they have duck dong. Remember
that
duck dong? Duck dong is gross, like a little corkscrew. It's gross.
Yeah. Like, what does it look like? Maybe it's this whole thing. Like, I don't know, but I think you're right about the go weird. I think don't bring him to Earth. In fact,
don't bring him to Earth.
Animated. Don't bring him to Earth. Make it like psychedelic and weird, and like you want to get high before watching it or something like that would be the best.
I agree. Maybe it's just.
But they're gonna make it family friendly. It's gonna be.
I know.
But we got a new dog. Look what Ralph found in the backyard. Oh, it's a Pac-Man.
What if this was the
like,
guy?
waka, waka,
What if this
Pac-Man.
guy narrated the whole thing and it was mockumentary? This guy right here.
Activate Pac-Man.
What if John? Am I bringing you around? Am I bringing you around?
No. We want Sam Elliott.
John got real excited for a second.
We want Sam.
Pac-Man.
we
Oh
want
my
Sam
god!
Elliott as
Now
Pac-Man.
that's the movie. Giant kaiju-esque ghosts are attacking the city, and you have to activate Pac-Man to defend the planet
Yep.
from them.
Yep. And then you'll hear
As
this.
long as that guy's in there saying "activate Pac-Man."
Yeah. And then he'll say.
Let's play Pac-Man.
Yeah. He'll say that.
Yep.
And you'll hear
Let's
that.
play Pac-Man.
You'll hear this. And then and everyone leaves and stick around for the stinger for the next MCU Pac-Man.
That's right. Wasn't that the kind of dumb part of Pixels? Yeah, you're right.
It was dumb.
You're not wrong.
You just re-described the Pixel storyline with Pac-Man.
Yeah,
Nice
I
job.
reinvented
You said it would
Pixels.
be good, but then
Look, everybody,
we go with my idea.
you've
All
now
right.
seen exactly how long it takes to creatively come up with Pixels as a movie. Please enjoy thinking about how much money that made for the people involved.
Yeah.
Those 5 minutes that we spent.
Yeah, we hope you enjoyed it. All right, quick FYI on some VR stuff, because I think we need to have a little VR here and there, especially with Bo's interest currently. Half-Life 2 VR mod in beta in September.
Yeah.
So that's
Open
cool.
beta, so people can play it.
Yeah.
It'll be in your Steam if you already own Half-Life 2, Alex, and such.
And apparently the Final Fantasy VII Remake mod is out now. Same dude that did Elden Ring, Cyberpunk, those mods.
Yeah, so you got to sign up for a patron for those. That's also the guy that got his Take-Two Entertainment or Interactive
Oh, his takedown.
mods
Yeah.
shut down. So his new one's FF7 Remake. So I'm like, I might have to resub. It's pretty expensive to sub to his thing, though.
He's got high
But
levels.
he's putting out content. So, I'm like, well, it's great.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII Remake was like, enough to make me go, yeah, okay.
I thought I saw a Final Fantasy 14 VR mod just recently, and somebody was raving about
Oh,
it.
14. Yeah, that's probably been modded. There's a whole Discord. I'm a part of a Discord where all the VR mod creators have joined forces and have their own channels and stuff. So there's lots of shit going on in there.
Oh, here it is. Tom's Hardware had a thing. This is where I saw it. It says Final Fantasy 14 is free to play, and it's definitely worth your time. Wait, that's just the game.
Yeah, I agree. That's my favorite thing you've said on this show.
I thought he had the VR thing. No, maybe not.
It's Final Fantasy 14 is free, and it's worth your time.
Well,
go check it out.
It's sort of free. It's free to a degree.
No, it's free to try. Right?
It's free to try. Yeah.
And one of the more generous ones by reputation.
That's true. Well, that's because all the early content kind of sucks, so they're happy to let you spend.
Because there's 568 hours of
the
content.
Expansion. The award-winning, critically acclaimed expansion Heaven's Ward is in there, Scott.
Not when I started. They put that in later. I bought that damn expansion. So
I bought everything too. I haven't played it. Maybe I should play it or something. I don't know.
I don't know.
Be a bard again.
I'm not in the mood for.
We need more bards. We need more people hanging out in bars playing music.
More music bards. All right. So there's that. What else? Oh, Forspoken. You guys see this Forspoken ad? Oof.
Yeah.
Oof.
I made a joke tweet about it. You want to hear my joke tweet?
Yes, please. Play it.
Well, we should explain what it is first, or do we just...
Well, I'll explain
play
it.
the ad.
Okay, you know what? Yeah, I'll play the ad.
Yeah.
I got to view it here. Hold on. Here we go.
Play the ad for our viewers.
So let me get this straight. I'm somewhere that's not what I would call Earth. I'm seeing freaking dragons, and oh yeah, I'm talking to a cuff. Yeah, okay, that is something I do now. I do magic, kill jacked up beasts. I'll probably fly next.
Yeah. Yeah, there's your ad. It
Great.
sucks. It's dumb.
Awesome.
I hate it. I can't stand it.
It's just so like... it was not a good vibe to listen to. You're like, okay.
It's so
the game
pretty,
does
though.
still look cool, but
Yeah,
you know.
it looks so pretty and nice, and I mean, it's
Yeah,
probably
I'm very mixed on this game. That ad is having the opposite effect of taking a game where I'm like, yeah, that premise might work. It looks good. It sure looks neat. And making me actively go, boy, I hope the whole game isn't like this.
Yeah.
It's like when I watched a little of the Guardians of the Galaxy and I was like, boy, I hope they don't talk this much in the game.
Yeah.
Like it's if it's that, the whole game, I can't take it.
You know what? What's going? Okay, so these are both Square. The game you just mentioned was a Square game. This game is a Square game. They had trouble with their Origins game where everybody's killing chaos and all that, and they got in trouble, or they get in trouble. They got heat for having an ad where they said that too much. What is going on over there?
Endearing. That one was a win. That
Really?
one goes in the W column.
Does
This
it
one's
though?
an
Because
L.
I know there are a lot of people I know who are like, "Oh yeah, that was hilarious. Love the memes." Did you play the game? No, it looks stupid.
Okay, I don't know if it worked out for them financially.
Yeah.
But everybody talked about their trailer in a positive way.
Yeah, but not.
Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe everybody talking about your trailer in a negative way is, the
I
same.
wouldn't call it positive. That's ironically positive. That's them. Nobody was going, yeah, I like this. Let's
No,
get
I
chaos.
literally did. I came into our Discord. It was Slack at the time. And I was like, guys, I'm going to tell you, this is so ridiculous. I think I might want this video game.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
because
that's
it was
true, that
ridiculous, not because it's good.
I bought it twice.
I know you did. And still haven't played it, right? It's still,
No.
Wait a minute. You know what? Suddenly my investment in Eternal Champions in 1997 doesn't sound so bad, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
I got a refund for it once. I'm still under your cost.
Oh, okay,
so-
okay. All right. That's smart.
remember, you're always behind. John's always ahead of you. He did buy a lifetime subscription to Star Trek Online.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I always feel like I have to remind myself, like, oh, it's fine. I
Yeah.
made this irresponsible purchase, but John made that purchase, so I feel okay.
That
I'll-
actually
You know
makes
what?
it. That makes me want to buy that. There's that XCOM like thing that's set in ancient Rome, Rome Expeditions, I think it's called. I was having a conversation with Greg Street off air, and he says it's one of his favorite games of the year. So I'm like, oh, I really should try that. And it's on sale for $39, normally 40 something. So I thought, oh, do I pull the trigger? Friends tell me to play. It's like XCOM, but it's also got this kind of cool Age of Empires kind of adherence to like the era and the history and everything. Now I think I'm going to do it. Why? Because you reminded me John spent $300 on a lifetime subscription to a game he never played.
That's right.
I'm going to
That's
do it.
right. You
It's
know
actually
what?
long-term damaging.
I
though.
might play Star Trek Online. I did a tier ranking of all my favorite enterprises.
Yeah.
And it really got me in the mood to pilot a starship.
Did you really? I love that you did that. Did you really do that?
I did do that. Yeah, I did.
Oh, that is
What
the
do
kind
you
of
think
stuff.
my favorite enterprise is?
Oh my
of
gosh,
all of
favorite
them? What do you
enterprise
think?
of all the enterprises?
Because I think I put 2 at S tier, or maybe I only had 1 at S tier, but either way, there was a definitive winner.
Well, they
for
got to
sure.
be, if we're talking just enterprises, not other ships, just the enterprise line of ships.
Just the enterprise.
Probably.
And it's not, I'll give you a disclaimer. It is based purely on look and aesthetic and how cool I thought it was to see. It is not based on the quality of the programming based on it, but which is also not a hint.
I don't remember which one
Just
it
to
was,
be
but it
clear.
was it D in the First Contact movie before they blew it up, or was it? I don't remember.
First Contact was the E. They blew up the D in Generations.
Oh, that's right. They blew up that D.
They blew up the D.
So okay,
the
that's
D.
right. Because then because Riker crashed the dish into the dirt and everything. That was something. Okay, so that's not it. I mean,
It's not it because you don't think I'd pick the one.
well,
that
no, I
crashed
just thought
into
you
the
said
dirt.
I thought you said you didn't pick that one. No.
Oh no, I haven't said yet.
Oh,
haven't said.
well, I
It
have
could
no
been the
idea.
D.
I'm guessing it's all next generation ones, though. If I had to guess. No?
My number 1 was the Enterprise A from the motion pictures.
What?
I love the look of that Enterprise.
I'm
I think it
surprised.
is far and away the best. It's my absolute favorite.
It's cool, no doubt. The models were awesome. They used ILM for that, and that original. That movie's bad, but that ship is cool. I'll give you that. That's a good one.
I love that Enterprise. Every time I see it, I get a warm, fuzzy feeling. And that thing blew up a bunch.
Yeah.
At least once.
Yeah, it did.
At
least one time, yeah.
they blew up that thing.
Interesting. Okay, number 2. It's got to be a D or E or one of the Picard ones.
I think I had the E in A tier.
Okay.
I think it
Wait,
was
are we
tied
doing
with something
tier lists
else.
of the Enterprise?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we move on? we're this is real like super weed territory, right?
What's hilarious is this is how boring this topic was
It's
to
not
Bo.
for me, but it's for our listeners.
No. This is how
Maybe.
you know how boring this must be to Bo because we literally just said. John says, "I just tier listed all the enterprises." I said, "Oh, John, you really tier listed all the enterprises?" And then we talked about it, and Bo went, "Are you tier listing
what
the
are you doing?
enterprises?"
Yeah, like I lost the thread a little bit because I'm like, okay, we're doing a bit of a side of Star Trek, and I tuned back in. I was gone for like 30 seconds playing with my hair, and I'm like, wait a second, I left them unattended, and they're tier listing the different enterprises. Like, the nerd in me appreciates it, but
I gotta
oh
talk to
God,
Carter.
I don't know. That's a rough one. Anyways, finish the list. Just do it quick.
No, I
No,
found out.
I'm not
That's
doing the whole
list.
list. I just said I was going to do the first one, but
Yeah.
then Scott wanted to know because he was so
Oh, so this is
shocked.
Scott's fault.
This is
not
my
John's
fault.
Yeah.
This is my fault.
He was just
Oh,
so
fault.
shocked that I didn't put a Next Generation one at the top. Of the list.
Look,
That's all.
we'll get Carter to
That-
animate.
that is
Well,
shocking.
What
That
if
is
Carter animated this whole conversation we just had? That'd be a good one. You know?
That makes it all worth it.
Yeah, it was all worth it because right before Bo jumped in, she can start it there, and then Joe Bump bumps in.
Joe Bump.
Joe
That's my new name now, Joe Bump.
Hey everybody, Joe Bump here. Just keep the show moving. It's my job.
That might be our title. Joe
Hey
Bump.
everybody, I heard you were talking about the Enterprise. Well, Joe Bump isn't going to let that happen.
Nope.
Let's talk about video games.
Not old Joe Bump. He'll never do it to you. All right, moving on. Let's get to this.
Well,
real
hang
quick.
on. I want to tell you my version of this, though,
Oh,
if you didn't see it.
all right.
Right?
Right.
This is me. I'm here. So let me get this straight.
Yeah,
I'm not on what I would call a podcast.
yeah.
And I'm seeing freaking Dragon Beef. And oh, yeah, I'm talking to a freaking podcast Hall of Famer. Yeah, okay. This is something I do now. I do talking, and I say dumb shit, and I'll probably host a PC Gamer show next. Buy my game. Yeah.
Here's what I liked most about your tweet when I read that today.
Yeah, I saw
Is
that.
I read that and then I scrolled down, just kind of like I wasn't reading every tweet. I just scrolled the wheel down, and the next tweet I saw from Scott was say something cringy. I was like, well, Bo understood the assignment. I
Yep,
guess.
he got it. He nailed it.
But
Well,
it was perfectly channeling that advertisement.
Well,
That
I
advertisement
wrote
is
down
bad.
the ad copy and just changed a few words. That's the ad copy of the Forspoken ad.
Yeah, you
With
just tweaked it a
nouns
little.
changed to reflect me instead of, it's as if they made a trailer about my life. Like,
Yeah.
I'm walking down the road, blasting monsters and going, I'm on a podcast with freaking Scott Johnson. Oh my God.
Yeah,
It's incredible.
The
although
one that bugs me is like I'm on a planet that I would not call Earth or whatever.
yeah,
Nobody talks like that.
no one says that.
It
No one says that.
It completely irks me
Yeah.
that she says it that way. It's like when people do covers of the Little Mermaid songs and act like they don't know what the hell a shirt is.
Yeah, no, you're right. I'm not anymore. This doesn't drive me to want to buy that game. And it's also very discordant because what I'm seeing is visually very interesting while she's talking. It's like, whoa, look at that. This is next gen.
It's the same plot as the Pac-Man movie, basically.
Great.
Like, he's going to be like, I'm on this place called Earth, not Pacula.
Yeah, not Pacula. Pacula.
Pacula.
That's
I
terrible.
loved Pacula in Quantum Leap.
Packets,
real good.
Scott
Well,
Pacula.
they have their own
Pacula.
Pacula.
Yeah, his Enterprise was okay.
Puck Pacula.
That was a
Puck
decent
No,
ship.
it wasn't.
It was
I
okay.
think I gave it an F.
It was okay. It
No,
had.
His Enterprise is okay.
It was
Yeah.
missing entire important sections and it looked squished. I don't like it.
I like
In a
that
po-
it
In
had.
a post-Discovery world, Enterprise is actually freaking awesome. I gotta say that I like that show a lot. I watched it and I'm like, I love Enterprise.
I like
It's been a
Enterprise.
long road.
That part sucks.
Getting from here to there.
here to there. It's definitely not getting from here to
That's
there.
not the lyrics. no.
Nope.
But I think it's
But
there to
it's
here.
good.
But either way, whatever. It's a cool ship made out of metal. Let's do this. We're gonna take a quick pee break. When we come back, we're gonna dive into Dear Martha. We got our week in gaming, emails, and more. So stick around, everybody.
We're all pee breaking, Scott.
Yeah, everybody's gonna
Usually
pee
I have
break.
to be like, excuse me, can I go pee?
Can I go pee pee? It'll
Nice.
only be a minute though, so or so. So
Oh
everybody,
Jesus!
Oh
Pete
shit!
Quick,
I'm going. All right, I'll be
you better go pee
Oh,
now.
man.
Pee fast, everybody. Pee fast. We'll be right back. All right, I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna go pee. Chat, stay there. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Here's some Mario music. Look, you guys, a little baby. Oh, that's so cute. Can you hear me? I guess he can hear me. Hi, buddy. Hello. Hello. Hi. You're getting so big. He's such a big kid now. Oh, you're muted.
I know he's getting so big. Look at him.
Look at him.
Look at him.
He's a proper
Can you say
toddler.
hi? Are you gonna say hi or are you gonna be shy?
Hi. Oh, you can't hear me.
He can't hear you.
Is he? He's walking now,
Wave.
yeah?
Yeah, he's walking all around. There he goes. There's the
Oh,
wave.
there you go, buddy. Hi.
Good job, bud.
Oh, he's cute, dude. That's killing me. He's gonna hate leaving now. You know that.
Oh, yep. Oh boy, we got
Uh-oh.
we got the cap to the mic to
Yep.
the microphone. There you
Well,
go.
it's the
That's
it's
got-
the podcasting condom we call it.
Yep, that's gotta stay on, bud. Otherwise, the peas are gonna pop. That's
Yeah.
what they say.
That's what they say.
Yeah, yeah. Can't touch the microphone.
Oh my gosh, I love that age.
I'll tickle you.
Hold
I'll
on.
tickle you.
How old is he
Yeah.
now?
He's what is he? He's
Year?
how many months? I'm getting confused because he's 17 months.
Oh my gosh, year and a half.
I'm like behind. I was gonna say he's like 12 months, right? He's a year. He's just a year old.
Damn, dude. Oh, he's so cute. Oh my gosh. Kim would babysit him if he was here.
What are you doing?
She'd
Don't hit
she'd
that.
tell you and Amanda to go out to dinner, and then we'd just watch him all night.
We would let you.
Yeah, we would do that in a heartbeat.
What? Oh, you don't like that I have headphones on? Okay.
These are strange constructs, Father.
Why do you have this upon your head?
Explain this to me.
What is this device? What does it do?
What does it do? Did Bo have to do the full poopy?
He might have had to do a full poo.
Okay. I mean, it's fine.
Yeah. We'll
You
hang out.
If you
Yeah.
gotta poo, you gotta poo.
You want to say hello? Say hello. Say hello.
Hello.
Yep, I got headphones on. Yep, just like that. You want to say bye-bye. Say
Bye-bye.
bye-bye. See?
Bye-bye.
No.
He's shaking his head.
I don't want to go. I don't want to go bye-bye. All right. I'm going to mute real quick because him going.
Yeah, you're fine. No worries. All right, chap. Hang in there. We'll have a show here shortly. How's he doing? Is he okay? I'll look at him.
He just shut the door. He's like, nope, we're locking ourselves in. We're going to be a part of this. I got a podcast now.
Oh, my gosh. He's too cute, dude. Really, really cute.
Ugh, he's so cute.
Yep. You had a good one there.
He's so cute.
Whoops. I didn't even play that again.
Oh,
Bo, where the hell are you? You coming?
He told him he only had a minute. He knew that, right?
Yeah.
He knew that was serious. So,
I mean, you got to pinch. I don't know. Canadians poo differently than we do. I don't know how it works.
probably. They have to go into the woods and dig a hole.
I would pay money to see Bo dig a hole and poop in it.
He doesn't. He goes to a lake.
You know how many people are asking for the lake story to get animated? That's the #1 request.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I didn't know that the tongue twister story was that good to be animated until she did it.
That's
so
true, yeah.
I don't know, but I do remember that being a fun discussion. So.
What was good about the tongue twister one is there was nothing about it that was contrived. We were just having this conversation. And, you know, Bo was late. When he came in kind of at the end. So his, like, rustling of microphone and sort of getting himself ready and added to the story. Like, it all just kind of happened organically. It's so good.
Well, also, there's something about Bo's personality that I love that comes through on that video, which is when you try to do the tongue twister, you go until you fail, and then you stop and you try again.
Yeah.
Bo starts, fails on the second attempt, but is like, no, I was asked to do this 5 times, and even though I fell down on attempt number 2, we're going to do the full 5. And I love it. It makes me laugh every time that he just keeps running with it. Yeah. And it's also so good that she animated, not just that he falls off the ski lift, but then continues to fall and tumble and stumble as he gets it wrong multiple times. It's
yeah,
you got to commit. I learned that from Heroes of the Storm. You know, if you know you're going to die, then trade for as much health as you can before you go out.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly right.
Because you know what? If you get it wrong on attempt 2, but then you get it right on attempt 3, 4, and 5, well, you did it 4 times fast. That's pretty good.
Damn straight.
But if you give up on attempt number 2, you only did it 1.
That's right.
So who really won there?
Yeah, who won?
You got to commit. Well,
we won.
I don't think I won. I think you won. Clearly.
I think the internet won because the whole thing turned out great.
Yeah.
All right, we're back, everybody.
We all won.
We all won. We're gonna now dive straight into some Dear Marthas. Now, apparently, we're digging something out of EGM issue 108. This would have been July of 1998. I think I was still trying to get my $100 worth out of Eternal Champions then. But who knows what they were saying back then? John, anything special here? Just a regular old deal?
We're going to do 2 letters followed by a Martha response because I'm going to give you a case of 1998 doxing.
Good Lord. All right, here goes.
Yep. My dearest Martha, in your April issue, you printed a bogus code that was said to be able to let players be any of the Bonds in GoldenEye 007. After attempting this for weeks and finally accomplishing the requirements for this code to work, I determined the code doesn't work. My friends and I grew very angry at your usually great magazine. Our anger toward EGM grew and grew until we eventually formed Gamers Against Electronic Gaming Monthly, or GAEGM. To sum this story up, our demands are simple. To avoid a boycott of EGM, the demands are, number 1, a public apology to all members of GAEGM, and 2, that's it, thank you. Yours in this life and the next. I'm just going to read this name. It's too good not to. Stormfront Jimmy.
Oh, my Lord. Stormfront Jimmy. Okay,
Oh my god. Hang on. I think this magazine belongs in a museum.
I agree, Dad.
I think this is the first known writing of an incel.
Oh, wow.
Ever put to paper.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Do
They
you
were
think he was
so mad
serious?
that the code didn't work. They formed an organization to boycott the magazine. Like, you know,
It sounds too. That's why I was going to ask. Do you think it's real, or do you think this is just some joker? Like the part where he says there's no number 2 at the end, he just ends. That tells me he's joking, but I don't know. I can't tell. Like the internet today, I don't know who's doing what anymore.
no, that's a serious letter. I'm
Is
pretty
it?
Sure.
Oh my lord!
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, I hate that that's true.
I mean, it might have been John's intonation of it, but it felt serious to me.
All
it
right.
felt like your magazine sucks.
well, we're going to try it
And
again.
it's an offense to everything in the known universe.
It sounds really dumb, but we'll see
Over
what
a
number
trifling thing.
letter number 2 has to
Just
say.
to be clear,
Yeah.
before we move to letter number 2,
Yeah.
in addition to being signed Stormfront Jimmy, they do identify as the second in command of GAEGM.
Oh, I don't even know
What is it
to-
called? GAGAM?
GAEGM.
Oh,
Gamers Against Electronic Gaming Month.
GAGEM. Gagam?
Gagam.
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 I'm starting to think they're full of shit.
Let me spell out the whole thing. Gamers Against Electronic
Gaming Monthly.
Gaming Monthly. Let's see if somebody.
Let's see if they're still around, still pushing their agenda.
There's a tripod site I pulled up here. Gamers Against Electronic Gaming Monthly.
Wait, gamers
Oh
against
shit!
gamers.
Oh yeah. Okay, I probably got spyware, but if you're feeling brave, there's a legit site for this. This is exciting. Gamers Against Electronic Gaming Monthly. Oh, an organization against Gagam.
Yeah, they're
Oh,
against
geez,
gamers.
this is another level.
Yeah.
The only site for people who hate Gagam. Contest. Please enter. To see the entries, vote, click here. The reason for this site is simple. In the April issue of the great magazine Electronic Gaming Monthly, they printed a bogus code. What's the big deal if it was an April Fool's joke? None. There was no problem with that. Many found it very amusing. I know I did. But then a group of whiners who couldn't handle the privilege of having a sense of humor, they went on to form a group called Gamers Against Electronic Gaming Monthly, aka Gagam. After that, I and many others went on to form a group called Gamers Against Electronic Gaming Monthly. This was to mock Gagam. The so-called unhumorous code was a GoldenEye 007 sheet that allowed the player to be one of many older Bonds from the movies. I recently scanned pictures of the bogus code below the picture's thumbnail. Enjoy.
Really?
This is a great deep dive. You
I
guys.
can't believe that A, that it all ties back to John's letter he found, and B, that there's still something in there on the web about it. That's crazy.
Well, not to shock you all, but the letter rabbit hole continues.
Oh no. All right, here's number 2
Dude,
then.
they posted all the letters for and against on the site, by the way.
Wow.
Anyway,
Wow.
This is something for you maybe later to pull some material up. I'd bookmark this in a hot second.
Nice. All right, here's number 2.
My dearest Martha, I found some really cool cheats for Rampage. Like all the secret cities, and playing as Vern full-time, as well as playing as a T-Rex. But since you guys are such bastards, and published that fake all bonds code, the cheats are going to Game Pro instead. By the way, my pissed off followers and I have started a rebellion. We call ourselves Gagam, Gamers Against Electronic Gaming Monthly. We have a simple set of demands. All we ask is that you publish an apology to Gagam. Once this demand is met, the attacks from our ever-growing number of followers will cease. Thank you. Yours in this life and the next, Cyber Samurai, leader of Gagam.
Oh, wow. Wish we could find out where Cyber Samurai is now, but clearly a couple of real stalwarts from the organization reaching out, getting the name out there.
I do have a response from Martha.
All right, let's hear what Martha says.
My dear Stormfront Jimmy and Cyber Samurai, trust us. You don't want to start a war with EGM. One word from us and hundreds of loyal EGM readers will jump down your throats via email. And guess what? we've just conveniently printed your email addresses for everyone to see. Longtime readers may remember Taylor Acosta and Brando DeJow, two anti-EGMers who got more than their share of anti-them mail from EGM fans. So here's the compromise. You disband Gagam right now, and we won't ask all our readers to stuff your email servers full of flames. Deal? Yours forever, Martha. And they did. They published their email addresses.
My gosh. That's crazy.
Oh, that's the doxing
That
part,
is doxing.
Eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is serious doxing action right there. Wow. Different time, man. 98. Nobody knows what the hell was
So do you
going on.
have the email addresses? We should send an email. Ask
I
them if they
do,
want
but I'm not going to read them on Twitch.
ask them if they don't read them on Twitch, but we should send a message and we can do an interview.
Yeah, I'd love to talk to these
Like
guys.
we'll just unplug them if it goes bad, but just say we're from a internationally recognized gaming podcast.
Yeah.
And we'd love to have you on to talk
Let's talk about EGM.
just
and
about the
what-
history.
Yeah,
man.
your
Like,
history of the thing.
What like where are they now? Are they in their 50s, 40s? Like how old are they?
This guy's like
Does
52
Gagam
and they-
exist in a post-EGM world? EGM no longer publishing. What does Gagam do now?
The guy's like 48 and co-runs an accounting service or something and doesn't want anything to do with us.
Guys, I got 7 kids and I work at a Denny's. Don't write to me.
Well, maybe he has that life, but maybe he works for Sony or something. Like we don't know.
Maybe he just got fired for running a sex ring on the servers. I don't know.
I was thinking that exact thing,
Not
but I
saying.
didn't want to say it because we've told too many inappropriate jokes about it.
That's true. We have
we filled our pedophilia quota for the episode.
Yeah, you can only tell
Probably-
so many. And
probably,
then they-
yeah.
I mean, it wasn't really a joke. We just talked about a headline. I think that's our first
Yeah.
and only joke. Let's say.
That's true.
Yeah.
And pedophiles should all jump off a cliff. All right. Let's move on. Well done. Well done, John. Those were all awesome, and maybe this will go deeper. We'll see. For now, though, we talk about the games we played this week. Had another run of Steam Deck compatibility gaming. Just love doing it. Love going and finding something like, oh, I haven't played that in years. How's it play? Oh, it plays great, or oh, it doesn't play at all, or whatever. Here are the games that I tried, and I will not stick around on much of them too long because we already know, and plus it's a lot of games, but I'll mention them. Ukulele 2, whatever it's called. I forgot it's got a name. It's those people that made.
Wow, the ukulele.
Yeah, they're old Rare devs, so they worked on like Banjo-Kazooie, which has got a lot in common with it. They also did the original Donkey Kong Country stuff, and this is like a 2.5D side-scrolling platformer game. It's very good.
The first one was Team 17.
Well, Team 17 published it. I'm not sure who the devs are.
Yeah, you said 2. I'm only finding 1 on Steam.
One's called Ukulele, and the other one's called Ukulele : Out of the
No,
into the
that's not it.
butthole or something like that.
There's one Ukulele in the Cracklestone. Ukulele.
And the Cracklestone. What the hell is that? I don't know what that is. Well, anyway,
right.
it's the only sequel I know of, and it came out in 2019, and it plays wonderfully. That's a good game. And let's see. Saints Row the Third.
Nice.
Everyone knows that game.
Yep.
I'm getting very excited for Saints Row, the reboot, coming in like a week and a half, 2 weeks.
I want to be excited, but I've heard it's too many steps back from what made Saints Row good.
Well, I've heard
It
that
feels
it brings
like a weird half measure. I don't know. We got to find out. But
I keep hearing it gets it closer to what 2 to 3 would have been, because by 4 things were too nuts, too weird, like too out in the wacko universe. I feel like
don't know. It
I'd
played
like it to-
Aerosmith.
Yeah,
Don't
but
want to
you
miss a thing
just
while
all
you climbed a rocket.
running around town and jumping around like you're some kind of superhero. That isn't the game I signed up for. 3 was my jam, and I would love.
3's really good.
I would love a return to more of that, and I've heard good things, so I'm actually really excited. So we'll see. Saints Row coming out soon. There's that Lego game, Lego City Undercover. It's basically GTA in Lego Town. It's kind of amazing, actually.
This is
It's really good.
fascinating to me.
Yeah.
Just the attempt.
It's
Let's
great.
take the most adult, most adult, like bad topic
Yeah.
thing and make it for kids. Lego City Undercover.
But
I
I'm
have
going to
to look
argue.
it up
I'm going to.
because
I gotta look it up.
I'm not
too.
going to say it's for kids. I'm actually going to make an argument that this game is for kids, but it's also for anybody. And the jokes are definitely for adults. It feels like a Pixar movie in that way because the cutscenes are definitely talking to people who are having a wink. You know, like they're directly doing parody moments of GTA style stuff, but they're doing it in a, you know, of course it's a more sanitized way, but it doesn't feel like it's pandering to kids. It feels like they're having
I mean,
a good
you
time.
can do that, right? Like you got bandits and hamburglers and like I see ninjas in this trailer. Like I actually see, having seen the trailer now, it's like, yeah, it's playing on tropes and archetypes, but still cute in the it, you know, it still has, you know, criminals.
It's still Lego, you know, it's Lego. Yeah. It's like all the Lego games. They have a little bit of a sense of humor. The movie, you know, it's more like the movie, I would say.
Is it only on computer?
It's on.
It's on computer.
Is it on the computer?
No one says that. I mean. Everyone says PC, but you're right. It just felt
sounded
weird.
Funny coming
out. Is it on computer?
I think it's on the personal computer.
As far as I know, it's on. It's an Xbox and PlayStation game as well.
This actually looks kind of sweet, honestly. I was kind of like,
Switch,
don't judge a game by its title.
Yeah,
no, it's fun. I mean, you may not like. If you are already not a fan of open world sort of kinds of games in the GTA vein, this is actually one of those. Like, you know what I would compare it more favorably to? Like, the thing that reminds me of is that Simpsons Hit and Run game that came out on the GameCube and the original Xbox. Yeah. So that was also a GTA playoff, you know, of GTA, but it was done in the, you know, Simpsons world with Simpsons jokes and actual lines from characters, and this feels like that. And when I was looking up reviews, this has some of the best reviews of any Lego game. The only exception maybe is that new one. Everyone really likes the new Star Wars one that just came out. But this was close, like right up there.
This what's kind of neat about this one is it's generic. It's not tied to an IP.
Right.
Unusual. Most of the Lego games are. And also it's not the usual Lego level, go back, collect, do the level again.
Right.
Kind of like it's open world.
Yeah.
And I'm hard-pressed to think of many Lego open world games that's actually kind of unique. Like it's almost like if I had to play yet another Lego game, I would like to do something different. So this would be a palate cleanser.
Yeah,
from the
it kind of is in a weird way. I'm enjoying it way more than I expected to. It was a nice surprise. I already had the game. I don't even know where I got it. It just was in my thing.
They just grow themselves.
I just get these codes, man. I don't know, and then I forget I put them in, but it's very good. Witcher 3 also played a bunch of that, which got me in the mood for the music. But I think I'm gonna do a fresh run on there. Just have it in bed. Oh, so good.
Yeah, there's a guy here that's like one of the Steam reviews, best game ever. I'm replaying it for nostalgia. It came out like 2017, and to complete it for 100%, it suggests playing with controllers since keyboard configs and keybinds not the best. But just that he's doing what you're saying. Replay it to 100%. Yeah. It's the best game.
It's
ever.
Great. I mean, it actually is a surprisingly good time. And even if you think, oh, I don't know, Lego games, I played those to death, or you didn't like them in the first place. Some of those trappings are there, like you're still little pieces explode and you're picking them up and it adds to your currencies, and like those things are still there.
Yeah, 87% positive lifetime reviews out of like,
which is pretty good.
700. So it's a good, people who buy this like it.
Surprisingly, it's my biggest surprise of the week. I really enjoyed it.
So does it feature gun shooting by any stretch?
Oh yeah, but no one dies. It's a lot.
No, but like I assume. Because John made that comment, can you run over Lego people?
Oh yeah, but they get up.
They break apart, but I assume they assemble them back together.
Correct.
If I had to guess.
Correct.
Yeah.
Same with the cars.
So they're just
the buildings.
temporarily sidelined by getting run over in this world, which
Yeah.
is kind of cute in its own way.
Yeah, in its own way, it's all right. And they make fun of all of that while you're doing it. You can steal other people's cars. And it says, instead of you just stealing a car and going, get out of here, lady, or like you would in GTA, you say, officer of the law, I need your vehicle. And you take their car.
Yeah, you commandeer their vehicle. It's for justice purposes.
And the people are fine with it.
A policeman can steal your car as long as they tell you it's for justice.
Yeah, it's a beast.
That's how it works.
It's really fun.
I just bought it for my stepson.
See, perfect. He'll love it.
He really wants to play Grand Theft Auto, and that is just not going to happen.
That's not going to happen. So he'll get a lot of that out of this. I mean, unless he's coming to it for mods.
I get to be we have Grand Theft Auto at home, Dad, and you gotta go like, hey, look at this.
Yeah.
How did he find out about Grand Theft Auto?
It's probably best I not talk about that part.
Oh, there's a story there.
No, let's just say nobody in this household had a hand in that.
Okay. All right. I thought
Yeah.
I thought maybe like somebody at school told him like another kid was like,
I mean, I'm
could've
sure
been
they
that.
talk about it at school.
you never believe what I did at home. I smoked meth, and everyone's like, "Sweet, I want to
Sweet,
smoke
dude.
meth too.
I'd like
I'll
some
tell your
meth
dad
as
to buy
well."
it."
The RP scene for the cops and robbers stuff that's in GTA Online apparently is like thriving. Like that's a huge thing.
Oh, the
where-
RP? Yeah, it's been around for a while. People pretend to be what they are. The only problem is they're not doing it in VR. So lame.
You're right, but I like those streams because a lot of the streams I follow are like they're cops and they're pulling people over for gnarly driving, and watching those interactions is really interesting. I can see
They're
the
really
draw.
hardcore. It's like theater performance. Like
Yeah.
there's some performance art, right? Like they just
Yeah, it's something.
I guess it's a good environment. They inadvertently made a good. I don't think when they were developing GTA 4, they're like, you know what? As an underserved community, is the RP scene,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, there's no
They,
way.
all they have is what's that place called? Oh no, I feel like such a noob in World of Warcraft. The Storm
Goldshire.
Yeah, all the
Goldshire, yeah.
RPers have really is Goldshire, and
No.
well, they got Final Fantasy 14 too.
Yeah.
But there's not many RP like strongholds.
Is there a lot of RP happening in your VR chat thing that you like? Is there like actual RP happening in there? Do you think?
I think RP. Well, I don't know. No, because there's no fictional world.
Yeah.
But role playing takes on a different connotation.
Yeah.
So there's RPing and there's ERPing, but no one's like I'm an off. Well, actually, that's not true because there's the whole Kmart world. Where people pretend to be employees at Kmart. It's the prices are faithfully done, and people shop at Kmart. And you go to the checkout and buy things. I haven't personally experienced this. I watched a video about it.
Wow.
And then some people try to steal, and then you got to catch the people stealing. There's this whole there is the actual question is yes, there is a robust RP thing. I just haven't done it. I've mostly been.
But wait a minute.
I go to
why is
I go to
Kmart-
nightclubs.
But why? That makes sense to me, right? Nightclubs are at least a place where I get the translation.
Like there's some like role playing in the sense that you got furries and you got like
yeah, but
people with
why
different
why Kmart? Why is
gender
that anyone's
fluidity and
fantasy?
stuff.
Like, you know what I miss? Shopping at a Kmart. Let's make a fantasy world where I
It's
can
that
be a Kmart
internet
man.
irony. I mean, who wants to be a cop? That's like the scariest job ever. You know, you can't actually shoot anybody, but it's fun, right? You know,
Yeah. I
playing
mean,
around.
the cop versus robbers thing makes sense to me. It's as old as time. Like, we're the bad guys, you're the good guys. Let's now do our thing.
Sure,
But
yeah.
but Kmart, oh, I got a deal on pants. Sweet. I'm over
Yeah,
here by the
yeah.
clothes. I don't get it.
I think it's better. I think there's more humor and creativity in going deep on the lamer things than going on the obvious things.
I
But
guess so.
I see your point. I see your point. You make a good point.
Just an odd location.
I think before we judge, we have to get John a headset. I feel like if he keeps holding out, I'm gonna have to get him one because all three of us are gonna log in and we're gonna go to Kmart together.
Yeah, that would be fun.
I tried watching that HBO documentary of like We Met Online, which was all in VR chat,
Yeah.
like the whole thing, and it made some part inside me curl up
Break off
into
and
a
die.
tight ball and lock itself in a drawer. And I turned it off. I think I made it about 15 minutes in before I
Yes,
was like,
that's the
nope.
VR thing.
I gotta get out of here.
You're watching flat screen content about what is a VR. 'Cause it just doesn't translate.
Well, I don't think it's the VR part
Just doesn't
that you're
translate.
worried about. You're worried about like the weird bullshit that goes
Oh,
on
you're gonna have
there.
a sexual awakening in there? Is that what you mean?
No,
I think that's what he's saying.
no, I don't think I'm going to. No.
Oh, it's
I
the
just-
reverse. You felt
No,
like
it just made me the term gets so overthrown, but it just was very cringy. It just made me uncomfortable to
Yeah,
watch, and I was
all
just
right.
like,
well, we'll go
nah.
fine. We'll go hang out with Mountain Dew Man. It's fine. There's something for everyone in VR chat.
Well-
Some people like make it like a big romantic, this is my world to express myself, wah thing, which is great. I said wah it sounds disparaging, but there's some sensitive
It is,
people
but, yeah.
in there that love that world. But then there's the funny
Wow.
Kmart. Like we'll go to Kmart, we'll steal something. It'll be fun. It'll be more of a troll experience. than
Look,
we'll
we could
enjoy.
do this. Here's what we'll do without spending $300, John, or whatever it's gone up to now. Is it already up?
Yeah, it's definitely not happening now that it's more expensive.
Yeah, the
No.
$399 now. But let's say all you got to do, it's free. You get it on Steam. You just get real close to your screen so that you can
No,
pretend like
it doesn't
whatever.
work.
And then we go into Kmart, see if it blows your mind, then chuck the $400 at it.
How about we just silhouette me in front, like Mystery Science Theater style, and I will just provide commentary over you and Bo hanging out in VR.
That actually could be pretty fun.
Yeah. The more he fights back, the stronger I want to buy him.
The more he fights, the more I want to throw $400 at him. Oh, man.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, where was I? Oh, Witcher 3. Awesome. GTA 5. Played some of that. It's fine on there. I'm not really looking to play that again, but, whatever. Alan Wake is really good on the Steam Deck. Holy shit. I think I'm going to play through Alan Wake for the first time. It's really good.
Really? You don't think that game's too scary?
I think it is too scary, but not in that
on
format.
the Steam Deck, it's not as scary.
It's not as scary because it's on here. It's like out here.
You can throw that Steam Deck away if it's...
Yeah, I can huck it. Although hucking your controller when you're talking Steam Deck is you throw your whole $600
you don't want to
at
do
the
that,
wall.
but you can hide it under the blanket.
Yeah. I also played Party Hard 2, which is that I've told you guys about it years ago, but it's basically a 2D Hitman. 2D stylized kind of Hitman. It's got kind of 3D elements, but really it's like this cool indie game where you go to these giant rave parties and you got to kill certain people. There's these trippy. You got to look it up, dude. I'm telling you,
great game. You go to clubs and shoot them up.
It's great. Party Hard 2 is awesome. And you can sabotage like the food there, and everyone gets poisoned, or you can blow up one of the speakers and on the dance floor, and it takes out 6 or 7 people or whatever.
Yeah, it looks sweet, man.
It's an odd game, but very good. And the chat's saying no way Scott plays through these. I've played through Saints Row the Third before. I beat Yooka-Laylee back when it was just on my PC. I've played Witcher 3, not entirely to the end, but almost to the end. GTA 5, I beat the story. So I beat most of these already, chat room. You smarty pantses. All right, Ace Combat 7, I got on sale the other day. I was on sale for like $8 or something, and I always wanted this. So I got it, and then I played it. And man, if you want to... Okay. I like certain games when they insert a bunch of anime bullshit. I'm all in on, and I like what they do here with it. It's so like contrasty because the game itself uses these amazing realistic looking planes, and the combat and the ground outside. Everything you do in this game looks so real and so Top Gun and just so ready to rock. But the story they intertwine about it and the world you're supposedly existing in, the countries that are fighting each other, it's the most anime stupid thing you've ever heard. And I don't know why, but it freaking works for me.
No, I understand the contrast, Scott. It's like when you're watching a serious anime, but then for a moment of levity, they blow it out and make it really weird. You got to have the contrast.
I don't know if it's like that. See, this contrast
sounds like exactly what you just said.
No, because this contrast exists intrinsically from the get-go and never goes away. It isn't just brief moments of it. It's always happening. And so this constant like contrast between a serious looking airplane sim, it's not a sim, but it kind of looks like one. And then having this really ridiculous over the top anime style story being told behind the scenes and in front of you and in cutscenes. It's freaking great. So I've been playing a little bit of that. It's great on the Steam Deck. And then Into the Breach did their big update. We just talked about them being on the
And it is
Netflix
a big
thing.
update. You can confirm.
It is a big update that literally, everything I've read, and John and I talked pre-show about it a little bit, but it basically is a new game. It's almost like a whole new added game to the game that was already there. And I already love that game, and now I love it even more. That game's rad. Into the Breach
Into the
rules.
Breach is super good.
Yeah.
But I don't know if there's a game where when you make a stupid decision, you get more mad at yourself than Into the Breach.
Yeah, that's
where
true.
you set it up and you're like, yeah, this is going to go great. And then something happens and you're like, the biggest idiot that ever existed on this planet. I'm so mad at myself. You get knocked into a building, just destroy the building. You're like, I should have known that was going to happen.
That happens a lot, but it's also, I feel like it's the kind of game that because the scenarios are kind of not simple, it's not what I mean. It's actually kind of genius the way everything's designed, but knowing what a thing is going to do before it does it, so you can try to plan ahead, it creates a sensation of like really a thinking man strategy game, but at the same time, the stakes aren't so high that everything's lost. Like, I really like the balance they've struck here. And I'm telling you, these guys, they made FTL, and then they made this. I don't know what their next game is, but they feel like this indie developer I'll follow to the ends of the earth. Like, it doesn't matter what they make, I'm there. I'm all in. And this is a good time to mention the other turn-based strategy game that we were looking forward to, or at least I think John and I, maybe Bo was, but the turn-based, the one based on the SNK game, the Neo Geo game, the
Metal Slug
Tactics got pushed to next year. So we were just talking
I saw
about
your
that.
post about that. Yeah.
It's a bummer. I was really looking
as
forward
long
to
as
that.
it's good. The usual. As long as it's good.
Yeah.
Fine.
So there's my Steam Deck story of the week. I also played brand new out yesterday, 2 Point Campus. You might say that sounds familiar.
Right.
It's the same people and engine and all that as 2 Point Hospital, which I already had. I think I have that on Steam. This came out on Game Pass, so it's on both computer and Xbox. This is going to sound like a knock against it. It's actually not. It's actually a positive. 2 Point Campus is it's a tycoon game, very cartoony and goofy, and over the top, just like 2 Point Hospital was. But it's basically not whole cloth, but in a lot of ways, it's a reskin of the game. And I'm 100% okay with it because to do much more, like what the elements they put in 2 Point Hospital were almost perfect. So this is a refinement of that, and it's really good. It's really well made. I only had a chance to play about 2 hours of it, but so far 2 Point Campus is rad. It's really fun to play with a controller. I was surprised by that. They thought that through real well, and like I say, it's on Game Pass, ran without a hitch, and it's cool. And it's, essentially free if you have Game Pass.
So do you manage like the students and the teachers and like getting classes done, or?
Oh yeah. So you have like a whole. You start small, but your goal is to build a giant sprawling multi-campus university. And when you start pretty small. You got like one room where they do the what do you call it when a professor does his
auditorium?
Yeah, it's like an auditorium, but what do you call it? He's doing a blank.
Offering a course.
I can't think
class.
of the damn
Lecture.
thing. Lecture. Thank you. That's what I meant.
Yeah, we got it there.
But it's all goofy shit. Like the one, like Hospital was this way too. Like people would come in with their head was replaced with a light bulb, and it's a specific disease, and you had to try to treat the guys with light bulb heads, and so it's always over the top. It's not meant to be realistic stuff at all. The science class in this campus game, the students are all in there doing ridiculously over the top science fiction stuff. It's all very funny and animated and everything. So they're not trying to be hyper realistic with any of this, and they really lean into the tropes of like better have burp. Their cola there is called burp cola. So you got to have burp cola machines. You got to have snack machines. Make sure the students have a shower, or else they all get super gross. Like they're playing on all these tropes of college kids and all that. And you get different classes, different professors, janitors you got to hire to keep the place clean. They kind of just go about their business once you let them go, but you can get in and micromanage each one of them, change who's getting paid what per year to work there. This professor's unhappy with his job, so either give him a raise or fire him and hire a new guy, like a lot of that kind of stuff. And again, it is exactly what 2 Point Hospital was to Hospital as this is to the campus style stuff. It's really just kind of, it almost feels like you could have done this as not an add-on. It is a proper
that'd
sequel.
Be weird. I have a town. It consists of a hospital and a campus.
Yeah. I mean, it's a proper sequel. I don't want to undersell it because it really is. But I guess this is good news. If you really like Hospital like I did, you're just going to ease right in. It's great. It's like, oh, more of this.
I guess what you're saying is it uses a lot of the same underlying mechanics, just
a different application.
For the milieu or
yeah, well said. Well said.
What problems are you like solving like for the students? Like,
so you're trying to keep their grades up. The higher the grades, the higher the grades, the better your yearly revenue goes. And they really lean into that about how much schools gouge students and student debt and all that. They're kind of making fun of all that. But you're supposed to improve the.
Do you give loans in this game at all?
Oh yeah, you can get loans. Totally can. And give
Can
loans.
you give loans to the students?
Oh yeah. I haven't gotten to that part, but I got on.
I'm kind of interested. 2 Point Hospital passed me by, so you really enjoy this.
I do. I like these kind of games a lot. They're fun. And this one just seems to be super competent. From a technical standpoint, it runs better than Hospital did for me on PC. Don't know why. I think they just optimized it. I don't know. What else can I say
Probably
about it?
built in the same engine and stuff. Like, you know, like I'm assuming a lot of what they worked on post-launch of 2 Point Hospital is to improve that game has made it into.
No doubt.
I'm looking at 2 Point Hospital now, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's pretty much the same.
It's very similar. The building tools did improve some, at least for console and controller use, which I'm a fan of, and I thought that turned out really good. It's just a really fun, satisfying game. It's funny. It's like genuinely funny.
Do you have a favorite course?
Course? What do you mean? Oh, school. So far, I've only unlocked science. I forgot what they called it. It had a funny name. It's a special kind of engineering science. And then the other one I opened was, is it literature or some kind of I can't remember. I
run the school. I'm not a nerd. I don't know. What the
I only unlocked it right before the show, so I didn't have time. But
I'm kind of excited about it. I'm just curious.
It's cool. It's cool. Yeah. It's a good time. If you guys liked the first one, anyone out there listening, or if you didn't try it, this is definitely super accessible given the Game Pass connection. So they probably turned down hot Sony money.
It's on This is on Game Pass?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Both PC and console,
because it's $53.99.
Yeah, it's a full retail game.
On games, I'm kind of tapped out for the gaming budget. So,
well, let me know if you play it. I'm curious what you think, because I know you like a good management game, so you might like it.
There's a bunch of stuff that just got added to Game Pass that I'm thinking of trying.
Cooking simulator.
Yeah. I watched you play some, and I was like, that looks like so much fun, but I never want to spend the money to buy it.
Now you don't have to.
Now
that has a VR edition, by the way, if you are trying that one out.
You are right.
It does. Does Xbox have the VR one?
No. I mean, there's no VR helmet for Xbox, but the PC version, and it's on PC, so you can do it there.
Yeah, I guess not. I mean, because you can direct link up to Oculus, but then I guess it has to be in the Oculus store. So.
Yeah. Well, I think you can do it through.
You can probably buy it on Oculus Store.
I don't actually know. Maybe the PC client for Game Pass will work with mixed reality sets. I don't know. Maybe.
Well, because sometimes you can run, like if you can run it standalone, you can run standalone apps that aren't in environments through your headset.
Right.
That is possible. Yeah.
Right. That one might. I'm not sure. But anyway, it's very. What was I going to say? Oh, 2 Point is amazing. Cooking Simulator has some DLC. I don't know if that's on Game Pass or not. Probably could buy it, but they have DLC for like apocalyptic stuff. So like you're in a bunker and you got to cook for people using like bare necessities, and so they found an old gopher, so you got to make food out of that and stuff like that. And that looks interesting. I may want to play with that. And then the other one was a game from 2016, which has been on my hard drive forever. And I think I put it off because everybody told me that it wasn't as good as some of the competing games, or there was some other thing with it. And I decided it
came out at a busy time.
I think that was it mainly. But I also heard it was one of the best stories in open world games, and that it shouldn't be missed for that alone. And that, as long as you were cool with like the gameplay of your typical GTA, then you're good. The game is Mafia 3. It's set in the 60s. And that's a big jump from Mafia 2, which was your typical mob 1940s, sort of, hey, Shay, look what I got here, Shay, that kind of stuff. And this is in the 1960s. It's post-Vietnam. It's really good. I don't know why I put that off. I'm kind of irritated I slept on that. Because
let's see, when did it come out? I wonder what came out with it, because I was in the same boat. I was actually really looking forward to this, and I missed it as well.
2016, and I don't know what time of year though, so I don't know what it was up against. Probably, Doom came out that year.
October 7th, 2016. So let's see, October 2016 game releases.
I don't know what it was up against that fall. It must have been.
Yeah, I don't know what it would have been. Mafia 3, Gears of War 4. Oh, we did play Gears of War. Wait, or was it 5 we played?
5 we played. Yeah, we played 5.
Titanfall 2.
Yeah, but that game got overlooked too, I'd argue. Oh,
Yeah.
you know what? Maybe it was just another damn Call of Duty was just wiping everybody else out. I don't know. I don't remember. But it was something like that. And I just remember people saying, it's got some bugs or whatever. Well, that's all worked out. And this is the like definitive edition. And what I've played so far, man, so I talked to Liam O'Brien about this because he helped direct it as well, the voice work on it. The voice work's amazing. He's actually in it. And there are some racist a-holes in this video game, like on purpose.
Oh, really?
It's written to be in the 60s. Your protagonist is a black man who just got back from Vietnam. That's who you control. Lincoln, I forgot his last name. He's cool, but he's getting a lot of, and he's always in the South. He's in this game's version of New Orleans. And the 60s were rough down there for anyone of color. And the game's not afraid to like look that stuff in the face. Like it's, I think that's maybe what I'm enjoying the most is it's not,
That's like how the
avoiding it.
mobster movies do it, where they don't, whether it's like American Gangster or whatever, that stuff is
it's harsh, right?
that stuff is depicted, not cleared, in the good ones.
Right.
It's tackled head on and just demonstrated for what it is.
And that's definitely what they're doing here. So I took the character played by Liam O'Brien, who was being so racist. I put this up on Twitter, and I immediately slammed his head into an oven cooker thing and set him on fire and killed him. So that was fun. And I sent that to Liam, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I remember doing that. That game was hard to make." And I said, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah, it was just all the subject matter. We had to do it, and we were going to do it, and we were going to do our best work. But it was still, you still had to say, they had to drop a lot of N-words, and that must be hard, especially when you're doing it for the art, right? Like a movie or something." And when I see Benedict Cumberbatch in what movie is he all racist in? 13 Days a Slave or 13 Years a Slave. I wish it was Days. That would have been better on the slaves. But you know what I'm saying? It was something like that.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
he's just a racist bastard, which he's not at all in real life. But to do those roles, you have to say some heinous business. Anyway.
Well, that was one of the demands that they had for when the voice actor strike happened, was that because so often projects around video games are secretive.
Yeah.
One of the things they were looking for was if they get contracted to do voice work and there's questionable content, they need to be notified and have the ability to turn it down based on not wanting to say certain things or deal with certain subject matter.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really an interesting thing because you don't think about it. Video game companies want to be cagey about what you want to record. They hire you, you come in, and all of a sudden it's like, yeah, so you're a racist and you're going to be saying all this. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
I don't feel comfortable with that, and you have all of a sudden this quandary of do I go along with it because it's a gig? What do I do? So that was one of their big demands.
Lots of people act as racists and or terrible people in lots of movies. It's
for sure.
They know about it, right? You can still say yes. You can still be like, yes, I will play the pedophile in this movie that's serious with Meryl Streep in it about the subject. That's
exactly. But in
that's
games,
what's his face said when he took the role. Not Carrie Fisher. Freaking what's his name?
What's his name?
Yeah,
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Hoffman.
In that movie, Doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I wasn't making jokes. I was making serious acting commentary there.
Right.
About that stuff.
Sure.
But, yeah. So, at least, but Philip Seymour Hoffman, he knew before he took on the role that he was
exactly. That's the difference.
Playing a stinker.
Mm-hmm.
And, some, I guess voice actors are not. First, that seems weird that they.
I
get that they could just be given lines to read, but wouldn't they want the voice actors to, I don't know,
collaborate in a bigger way? Yeah, well, I think I see, and I don't want to make that comment about this game in particular, because I don't actually know. It's probably he helped direct, so he probably had all the knowledge about what it was going to be.
Yeah, I'm sure Liam did a great job.
He did. He really did a good job, and he's, of course, always good in what he does. But and he listens to the show, so Liam, if I'm getting any of this wrong, feel free to text me and tell me I'm an idiot. But
yeah, me too, because that was my understanding from somebody on the outside.
Yeah.
I just do dumb voices on this show. I don't know anything about any union.
It's very good, though. That game kind of surprises me. Also, the way it looks great. The facial stuff is kind of, I don't know, feels newer than 2016. It's real good. So anyway, I'm going to keep playing that. I mean, maybe it drags in the latter half, and that's why I don't know. But Mafia 3 so far treat me okay. John, you played some games this week as well. A few mobile games I see. What'd you do? Oh, man, the last Campfire's so good. Did you play that?
Yeah, let's talk about it. I played some mobile games.
Woo!
Really changing things around here.
Yeah.
This is the John Plays Mobile Games section of the talk.
What's happened to the show?
If you
I
had, yeah.
signed up for Apple Arcade.
Yeah.
I did it because, let's
You're
be
a traitor
honest,
to the
I don't
anti-mobile community.
I
the
don't
EGBM
want
BMDND.
to deal with mobile bullshit.
Yeah.
So the quickest way to know that I'm not going to do that is to sign up for a service that doesn't allow it on their platform. Although I will say this, and we'll get to it at the end, you can still tell where it exists. You just don't have to participate in it, which is nice. Like you see it there. You select something that has a weird gem or crown icon next to it, and the game will just let you do it, but you know why that gem or crown is there.
Sure.
You know somewhere there's somebody playing some free version of a game going, I gotta put money if I want to buy this. You just have the nice benefit of being able to do it for free.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
There's some province. There's some province in China where somebody's playing that exact game, but they have to buy gems, and you're just subbing out of it. Basically, that's what's happening.
So I played 3 mobile games this week, and one of them I sunk hours into, and we'll get to that in a minute. But let's start with the last Campfire, and it was the first one that I played. Seemed like a really good choice. It's by the people who made No Man's Sky. It is a beautiful, charming little game. It sounds great. The audio is amazing. The voiceover is good. I know you talked about this before, Scott, and you played some of the audio of the narrator. Like, it's a very soothing kind of game. But this was my first step in the weird issue that I'm going to continue to have with VR, or not VR, with mobile. Sorry, I'm thinking about VR. This is going to be a recurring theme, because for me, I looked at it, I was like, this is beautiful. It plays well, controls nice. I like everything I'm seeing and doing here, and I played it for about 15 minutes, and then I put it down, and I had zero desire to ever go back to it.
Really? That game's
Because
great.
I don't want to pick up my phone and play a video game.
Yeah.
If it was on Steam, I probably would have launched it later that day and played more of it. If it was on my PC or a console, more likely.
By the way,
But
it is
I
in all those
don't-
places. For those wondering, you can buy it anywhere. But yes, in fact, it's overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam. But your point isn't that. Your point is, if it was there and that's where you were playing it, you would probably.
I probably would have kept
Right,
playing it. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I get it.
But when I'm sitting down with my phone, I'm not sitting down to play one of those types of games. Though I appreciated its existence and thought, wow, this looks really good. This is amazing. Such high quality, and it plays really well. But I don't sit down with my phone to do that. And so I had no desire to go back and do it again, which kind of continued to be the trend with the other game I played. Although this one, I will say, it is so in my wheelhouse that I am getting the urge to keep playing it. But now it's on the other side, because now I have the urge to play more of it, but now I'm frustrated that I can't play it where I want to play it. And that is a game called Fantasian. It is by the original creator of the Final Fantasy series.
Oh, that game's good. Sorry, go ahead.
It is awesome.
Yeah.
It is really good. It's Final Fantasy. They're making a modern Final Fantasy, but the people who made Final Fantasy are doing it. They're making another one. It's on mobile. That game looks amazing. That game plays great. It is right there in everything I enjoy. So solid recommendations. But again, I haven't spent very much time with it because sitting there playing on a mobile device isn't exactly like I sit there and I'm like, yeah, I want to play more of that. I don't want to get my phone all set up to play it. Like, ugh.
Mhm.
I wish I could just launch Steam and play this stupid thing. Like, it's so weird because I understand that on the phone is technically more convenient. I carry that with me in places. But then I'm going to worry about battery life. And then I'm going to worry about how stupid hot the phone is getting because once upon a time, Samsung phones burst into flames. So now anytime my phone gets a little hot, I assume the same thing's going to happen to me. I just don't like it. So I will probably go back to that one because it is so good. But I had the same issue as with the other one where it's like this is a cool experience, but I don't know if I like playing it on mobile. I kind of wish it was elsewhere.
That is kind of the issue. I totally feel that as well. But that game, I also wish that, and it may one day because they run out of these contracts. But that Fantasian game would be really cool somewhere else. The decision to make those diorama kind of looking miniature, and it was all handcrafted too, which is amazing. But like you walk into one of the buildings,
right?
Yeah, it's all photographed. So you have these little miniature pieces of furniture, and it's weird and ethereal and otherworldly, but this really solid turn-based JRPG, all these mechanics built into it. It's very good. It's a really cool game, and is currently on iOS only, iPad as well. Yeah. And I don't know if that'll ever end up outside of Apple Arcade. Maybe one day, but the pedigree's there. It's a cool game. But I feel you on the whole. Yeah. I mean, had to pull your phone
I also
out.
want to say, Square Enix, what are you doing? You would have sold another copy of basically every Final Fantasy Pixel remaster if your mobile port allowed controller support.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to buy. I went there and I was like, you know what? I didn't get my Steam Deck. It really hurts. Every time Scott talks about it and he won't stop talking about it, it makes me die a little bit on the inside and I feel a little sadder. It's not like VR where I'm like, I don't know what I'm missing. So, whatever. Like I can hear Bo talk about that all day. And there's a degree of like, I wish I understood, but I don't envy that he gets to play in VR. It's just that like I don't understand that feeling. It's like if you were colorblind and someone describes the color blue to you as very nice. You're like, okay, I guess. But this is a case where I'm genuinely envious, and I was like, man, it would be so cool to play through all those Final Fantasies again on a handheld. I was like, oh, I could do it. I could do it with the phone. And I went and looked, and not a single one of them. In fact, Square Enix's games in general don't do any sort of controller support for it. And one of my biggest complaints is I don't think for the games that work with the phone, it's a fantastic way to control a game. For games that are clearly not designed to be controlled with a phone, I hate it. And so they missed out on a sale there, but then again, they also haven't put those things on any consoles, including the Switch, which everybody asks for. So they'll just continue to leave money on the table and complain about how things are underperforming, I guess.
Yeah, that's their future.
The last game, the game I spent more hours playing than probably anything else this week, the mobile game that captured my imagination and then captured my wife's imagination to where she subscribed for Apple Arcade. And she got it and started playing it. It's a little game, maybe never heard of it. Solitaire Plus.
Solitaire gets you every time.
Yeah.
I am so annoyed that this grand experiment into mobile gaming concluded with me going, hell yeah, Solitaire, everybody. Solitaire is back. Finally, we can play the most boring, lonely card game ever on our phones in an iteration that has real, like, I'm a cool dad. I made Solitaire Plus energy. Like, this game is bizarre. It is Solitaire that thinks it's cool, despite the fact that everyone knows what Solitaire is.
Yeah.
Because you win and they're like, hey, look at all those Solitaire cards. Look, we made it into an airplane and it flew around because you won Solitaire. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
That's like, no, that's not cool. It's like you unlock that animation. You can look at that anytime.
You got a little dopamine out of there.
I don't want to. It's stupid. They're like, look, you beat Solitaire again. It made a cat face. What do you think of that? I think that's stupid. I don't care. Why do you think it's so exciting? But despite its real dad energy, I think that this game is really, it's really good version of Solitaire. And it is what I ultimately think I need to be looking at for mobile games, as much as I avoid mobile games. And that's why I played The Last Campfire. That's why I played Fantasian, was because I was like, no, give me real ass games. I don't want to play mobile bullshit. But at the end of the day, mobile bullshit is what your phone is for. It's not for those other two games. It's for picking up a game while you're taking a crap and going, I'm gonna play Solitaire. That's what it's for.
Play
And
Solitaire.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, Solitaire is so good.
Yeah, don't play don't play euchre and cribbage and Solitaire. Like grab Solitairica.
I can't help it. It's what I played. It's what I did.
Well,
And I played hours of it. I've played so many games of Solitaire this past week.
You should play Solitairica. It's pretty much the same thing, just a little cooler.
I think I have played it, actually.
Solitaire is like a roguelike meets Solitaire.
I have it on my phone, yeah.
It's so good. I have it on Steam.
At the end of the day, like, I liked it. This is going to sound like I'm bashing
you played it already. Okay, you've already played it.
I don't know if I played that, but there's a bunch of games that use Solitaire as a baseline for like a story-based game or something fancier, and I've definitely played one or two of them. I just don't know if it was Solitairica.
Yeah.
But I think at the end of the day, like, I don't want it dressed up. I just want to, like, I want to sit down and go, I got 5 minutes. Am I going to win this round of Solitaire? Nope. Okay. Well, 5 minutes have gone by, and I did a thing during that time. And I think that's ultimately, I think the mobile experiment is going to continue again through Apple Arcade, because there's a lot of stuff I don't want to deal with. And that's the game where you can see it. That's the game where it's like, because I looked and I was like, hey, you can change your card back, but I bet they don't have a weird castle with bats. They totally do. But mysteriously, there was a crown next to it. And I was like, Jesus, they make you pay for the crown with bats. Or the castle with bats. What a joke.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was my experiment with mobile gaming. I'm not exactly sold on it. I don't exactly know what games I should get on it. Apple Arcade seems like a great way if you want to experiment with mobile games to be able to do it.
Backbone with it?
Oh, yeah, I should mention we got some backbones here. We're not quite ready to review them, but we got the new PlayStation looking ones. And so, John, you probably played those first two games on here, right? That's how
I did. I didn't know how much we were allowed to say, so I didn't want to say too much.
Yeah.
But yes,
we did get them. Later on, we'll talk more about them. But here's my grand take, and I've said this before about my old one, because I have the black one as well that I bought last year. Those kinds of games you just mentioned, those two games in particular, Last Campfire and Fantasian, really play well on a device like this. If you're going to play Solitaire, though, you're just going to flip, right? You're just going to have the thing in your hand.
Yeah, just played with my hand.
We'll talk more
Although,
about this later
actually, hey, Square Enix, I think the stupid Solitaire game does have controller support, oddly enough.
Yeah, they have to.
Get the hell on it.
The rule with all Apple Arcade games, they have 3 rules. They have to run on a Mac. They have to have controller support, as well as touch.
Oh, really?
Touch, mouse, keyboard.
That's surprising. Yeah.
Yeah, that's their rule, and it has to support.
I would figure to be like they have to have touch support, right?
Well, they definitely have to have that, but they have to have controller support, keyboard support, mouse support, and cross save support. That's the rule they have on their stuff. So it's actually good. I really like that they do that. But
how many games you get with their Apple Arcade?
I think they're up to. Oh, geez. I mean, it's like $4
There's
a
a lot of them. I mean, the part that I have the hardest time with is like all of them look bad. Like that's the hard part. Is like my brain is so trained to like see the little mobile icons and immediately hate it. That like when I got into the arcade, I was like, yeah, I was really excited about this. It's like mobile experiment, gonna play a lot of games, and I got in there and I was just like, I just started looking at the icons and felt nothing but disdain and disgust, and I was like, I don't want to download any of these games, which is probably why I wound up with the 2 initial ones I did. I was like, all right, Last Campfire and Fantasian feel safe. I'll start there. I don't even know how I wound up with Solitaire. I don't know where that came from.
Download the Star Trek game.
I feel like that game like did a Men in Black flashy thing at my face, made me get it, and then I forgot all about it because I don't know why I downloaded it.
That Star Trek game is one of those gotcha games without the microtransactions, and I got really into it because I
didn't see it. I was curious about it.
Yeah.
I do kind of want to try it.
It's fun.
Although, actually, this is a good point. Do you think Square is not doing controller support because Sony is planning to release a mobile platform and they want to be bought by Sony? This is a super tinfoil hat, but
that's tinfoily as hell.
I don't know. I honestly, based on my experience playing their ports of recent Final Fantasies or beloved Final Fantasies, I think they're just lazy as shit. They just want your money
because they
don't want to put in a bunch of work to get it.
They have other games. Their Battle Royale on mobile that uses controllers. That has controller support. They're kind of just sometimes they want to, sometimes they don't. It doesn't make any sense. I would play 6 on mobile if it supported controller.
Yeah, I was ready. I was there.
Yep.
And it just doesn't, which is a shame.
It's annoying. Real quick, found out the number. It's 180 plus titles at the moment, so it's quite a bit. And there's really good stuff in there.
How many of those are solitaire?
No, it's more.
At least
it's way less the games you're thinking of, and way more like trying to be full games. And there's some that are really excellent in there. It's just if you can't do mobile, they're still mobile games. You know, they don't have any of the crappy payment stuff. They aren't predatory. Like all that goes away. But if your hang up is I'm playing them on my phone and that's inconvenient, it's not going to sell you because they're still mobile games. You know, and controller support helps and all that stuff, and being able to play it on your TV is cool, and all those things that come for $4 or whatever it is a month. It's a really good value, but they're still mobile games. So for whatever that's worth.
But yeah, I would recommend Fantasian if you like the Final Fantasy series at all. That game was really good. I didn't give it a ton of time because I didn't give any of these games a ton of time besides Solitaire, but a genuinely fantastic game.
Nice. What is Tower of Fantasy? What is that?
It's Genshin Impact.
Yeah, so Bo played a lot of Genshin Impact, and he talked a lot about its visual style and how pretty it looked. And I was like, I don't know if I want to get into Genshin Impact. Well, a new MMO light, I don't know, maybe you just call it an MMO. Tower Fantasy came out, and it was free to try. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to give this a go. And I downloaded it. And I loaded it up, and I got into it, and I played it for about 20 minutes. And then I went, what are we doing? And I uninstalled it from my computer.
Here.
But,
I had a look at it. It looks like shite sauce.
But like Genshin Impact, it is very beautifully animated. I like the look of the game. Like it's your 3D anime business in, a good looking backgrounds and all that. But as far as an MMO goes, it plays like a game that literally every other game out there does something better than it. So I had a very I had a very quick feeling of like, this isn't for me. And I don't like this, and I uninstalled it. But at a certain point, this was going to be the only game I had to talk about, so I included it. But I genuinely don't have much to say. I would say go do your own research on it. Don't listen to my recommendation. But like Diablo Immortal, it's a PC gaming experience that says tap anywhere to start. So that maybe tells you everything you need to know.
I'll do it for you. Don't play this. Just like
there
I'll actively advocate. Just don't skip.
Just skip. Completely. This is just a full-on skip.
I didn't have to try it. I watched 30 seconds of it in the video, and I went, "Yep,
that was enough."
And I got the ad for it on Twitter. Like, yeah, I know what this is. This is if you value your time, skip.
All right.
I did not have a lot of fun with it, but I did play it.
Proper Final Fantasy check-in though. You're still playing through 8, I assume. That's still going.
Yeah, playing through Final Fantasy 8, nearing the. I just started what would be the 3rd disc if we were putting discs in the PC to play this game, but. I have to say this: Final Fantasy VIII is way better than I remembered it being. And it was already one I really liked, but back when I originally played it, I don't think I appreciated the story for what it was, and I don't think I understood a lot of what was going on in it. And going through it now, older, I'm like, you know what? I find this story actually really endearing. I really like the characters more than I thought I did. I sadly identify with Squall more than I wish I did, because
Oh.
he's the most like emo pain in the ass character in the world. But like the more I read his takes on things, because the game does a lot of internal dialogue of him, where he's just sitting there, people will be talking to him, pouring their heart out to him, and he's just like, I wish people would leave me alone. And I'm just like, man, Squall, I understand you, dude. I get what it's like. I really think this game is like a sleeper hit, because I feel like so many people, are way into 7. And 9 gets a lot of love too. Like if you had to hold my feet to the fire, I probably would guess that 9 is going to be my favorite of the PlayStation era, but I don't know. But I think this game is actually a lot better than people remember. And again, the junction system, which is the big controversy of the game, I love. So it's kind of weird like that.
It was all right. I mean, it didn't hit the same level of popularity, but it's all, it's all right.
So quickly getting ready to close the book on that. I feel like I'm going through it extraordinarily fast. Maybe it's just considerably shorter than what 7 was, which wouldn't surprise me, because the fact that they're on the same console, the difference in quality of graphics is insane. What the extra time and knowing you're making it for the PlayStation and all of that, it's crazy what they were able to turn that console around to do.
Yeah.
When you compare the but model work between 7 and 8, you're like, oh my gosh, you guys, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Whereas Cloud was like 5 pixels when he was running around on the mini map. Like Squall actually looks like a human being. It's kind of weird.
It is weird. I guess that's just, you get longer in the cycle of a console, and you just get a better handle on the hardware, and all the tricks or whatever. Yeah.
And if I remember right, I think 7 started development and they didn't even know they were going to be for the PlayStation. So I think there was a lot of stuff learning as they go. And I think 7 was originally supposed to be Chrono Trigger, or Chrono Trigger was supposed to be 7, and then it got shifted to the PlayStation. So there's been I think there was a lot of learning on the fly with that one.
Sure.
And 8 is definitely a refinement in terms of graphical fidelity and sound and stuff like that. So yeah, really enjoying that. And for about 30 minutes before we started the show today, because I wanted to get one more thing to talk about, I tried Cult of the Lamb, which came out today.
Oh yeah, I want to play this.
Scott, you will love this game. I
really
think. I'm pretty sure this game.
Let me ask you this:
awesome.
Is it what everyone? Okay, here's what I keep hearing. If you like Stardew Valley / Animal Crossing, that kind of stuff, and you like action-based roguelites, that's this combined with a crazy story and premise. But that's essentially the game. Is that right to you? Does that sound right? It
seems to be accurate so far. I mean, the first 30 minutes is basically this. It sets up the premise, which is that there is a prophecy that a sheep is going to release this like great elder god that's going to destroy the lesser elder gods that bound it. So the lesser elder gods, or whatever they're called, decide they're going to kill all the sheep in the world, and you are the last sheep to be offered as a sacrifice. Instead, through circumstances, you are tasked with forming a cult to worship this great chained elder god to bring about his release and return to the world. And you begin a murder spree to get rid of these other cultists that worship these lesser gods and form a cult around this greater, deep god, whatever they call him.
Yeah.
It plays a lot like Zelda. You're running around, you got your dodge, you got your slash. You're a cute little sheep that sometimes has evil demonic eyes. Seeing the screen, that was exactly what was happening as I said it.
Yeah.
But so it's got action, like fun action slash combat that I really enjoyed. But then, yeah, you do get to a point where you recruit a cultist follower, and you can task him with chopping down wood or getting minerals, and you start building your following. You have to construct a campfire to keep your followers fed, because you don't want them to starve to death. They need to keep worshiping along with you. And so yeah, there's like kind of a weird little city builder element to it so far as well, on top of the going and adventuring. And it definitely seems like there's going to be some run based elements, because they talk about, it almost sounds like Rogue Legacy, where it's like, okay, there's 4 of these gods and you have to go to their domains, and they each hold a chain that keeps your lord held in place.
Yeah.
So it sounds like they're going to be runs into their territory for resources, and eventually you'll be strong enough to defeat them. And once you defeat all 4 of them, that's probably your end game right there. But it plays, I wish Tunic played as well as this game plays.
I was going to ask about
I
that.
would have stuck with Tunic if it played like this. Like, the controls on it are tight and feel good, and really responsive. I really love the look of it. Everything is kind of looks like 2D in a 3D world, but really nicely drawn and really well lit. So it's got a fantastic art style. The cultists, this was the real winning feature to me. This was the moment where I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to play this game. When you recruit somebody to your cult and you indoctrinate them, which is exactly what the prompt says, you get to pick what their name is, and you get to pick what sort of animal they are. You can change them to a different animal if you want. So my first indoctrinated follower was Scott, and there wasn't a frog, so I made him a turtle.
Great.
And so you're my first follower in my cult that I've created. Bo will be joining soon, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It's a charming little game in that like cutesy but dark things are happening kind of way.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to play more of this. This game is great.
So you haven't had, have you had much of a chance? It doesn't sound like it's a ton of a chance to play this stuff that's like, that everyone says is like Animal Crossing or like Stardew.
Not a lot. I got to the camp, and they basically, I did some ordering a follower to gather resources, and I built a campfire to cook food, and I gathered berries to make a meal for Scott.
Yeah.
Because he was hungry.
Yeah, I gotta eat.
And so I did that stuff, but I haven't gotten to anything more elaborate than that. I'm sure it continues to grow. But that stuff all seemed basic as far as its function, but in a way that I think is good. Like, if you're going to do a game that does multiple things, you don't want it to be too complex on each layer.
Yeah.
You want them to kind of be like, let's just get to the meat of it on the action. Let's get to the meat of it on the town building and stuff like that.
Sure.
And not have it feel like it's too much work or too much effort. And so far, that's exactly what it has felt like. And looking at the video you're putting up, like, I can't wait to get some of these crazy powers and stuff. Because right now I just slash things and dodge away from them. But this game is really, really cool from what I've played so far. Again, that's about 30 minutes of experience. I could be back next week to tell you it's not good, but so far I've loved every bit of it.
The reviews have been pretty
really
strong
incredible.
from like all the media outlets have reviewed it pretty well. Steam reviews are good so far. The one thing I had a question about was, what was it? Oh, somebody on some listener actually said in his playtime he felt like he was playing Hades. Like the combat reminded him of Hades. It may not be quite the same, but that tight sort of,
yeah,
you're deliberately doing a thing you meant to do, and it felt good doing it, and you can't wait to do it again, and then you get more weapons and powers and things that make you want to go and try new combinations. That sound very Hades-like to me, the way I describe it.
Yeah, I was reminded of Hades as well. Like, I wouldn't say it's 1-to-1, but
right.
While I was playing it, I was like, man, this controls good like Hades, was what I thought in my head while I was playing it.
Yeah.
So
I think this looks like a good time.
It's solid.
I'm gonna have to get it. Freaking Devolver never makes anything I don't like, so I probably just need to trust and go. Just pay for it and buy it.
Looks sweet.
Yeah, it looks good. All right, good call on that. Bo.
Hi.
How you finished Half-Life, Alex? How did that?
Yeah, I finished it.
Satisfying
it's
ending and all that.
Who to really say it's game of the year, probably the number one game everyone should be playing. If you like games,
Game of the year.
If you don't play it, then you don't like.
It's been a stellar. It's been a stellar experience. You play it when you get that experience. Like, I wish I had got into this sooner. Why did I wait so long? I might have died and not tried this. Like it's that.
It's that impactful. Wow.
That's how I feel about it. I'm glad I got to it.
Yeah.
So we can talk a little bit. We talked about it maybe on Discord. I'm shocked that not more people talk about the ending of this game because it pretty much pulls a Reaper of Souls. I don't know if you want spoilers because it's like I'll never talk about it with you guys, and you might never play it. And because I think a lot of people didn't play this game.
Well, like I mentioned, I went and read it because
I guess I will
part
say,
of me.
Oh, you did.
There was a part of me that was like, there is no way that Valve, the company that is constantly hounded nonstop for leaving the Half-Life 2 story unfinished with Episode 2, makes an entire game that is just a prequel that doesn't in some way address the ending of Half-Life Episode 2.
Yeah, I've got clips linked there, Scott, too, if you want to show some of that cool stuff in there. But the ending of this game, without spoiling it, I would say like it's pretty much Half-Life 3 confirmed. Like the way it plays out, the way you experience it, they don't literally say it. It's not announced anywhere. But if you make a game like that with the ending that's there, I am expecting Half-Life 3. It's in my mind, it's confirmed. I may be disappointed, but that's their fault, not mine.
But just the standard. You're talking about a Half-Life 3 that will be.
It confirms Half-Life 3,
but not necessarily a VR game, though. Is what I'm saying, right?
No, and like I obviously did the rumor search. Like maybe there's your character Alex definitely gets recruited for more. So without trying to be as vague as possible, so Half-Life Alyx 2 seems possible, as well as Half-Life 3 confirmed.
So how'd they confirm it if it's a prequel? Because it's a prequel to all the episodes and the episodic
Half-Lives. That's where the spoiler starts.
Oh,
but let me tell you, there's no doubt in my mind. This confirms it. If we don't get a Half-Life 3, it's their fault for being sucky. Like that's, especially we make this game with an ending like the way they showed. To me, this is like 100%. Yep, we're doing more Half-Life with the character and love, not Alex. So let's go. Release the freaking game already. Like, get off your shit. Like, take how many billions of dollars? Like, just spend and spend and spend on making Half-Life 3 till you get it out the door. I don't care what it takes at this point.
They are.
Go.
They are. They gotta be.
Let me put it this way too, Scott. If you were Valve, right, and people wouldn't shut up about make another Half-Life, you can't leave it on the cliffhanger that you left it on. Like, you guys need to address this.
Yeah.
And you made a Half-Life prequel, and you wanted to put those rumors to bed because you weren't going to do a follow-up. Do you think you would acknowledge the cliffhanger? Or do you think you would just do a prequel and you'd pretend it didn't happen?
That's a really good question.
Because they acknowledge the cliffhanger, and you
very
don't
direct,
do that
very directly and not vaguely.
Okay, if they do that I mean, I already thought 3 would come eventually anyway, and somebody didn't this just leak? Somebody did a store listing for Half-Life 3 with some crazy information, and they pulled it immediately. It was
I didn't see that. No,
somewhere. Oh, where did I see it? Let's see if I can find it. Half-Life 3.
My guess is, based on what's there, is that we'll get a Half-Life 3 flat screen game and then a Half-Life Alyx 2. So they'll continue the VR on the Alyx franchise and then a Half-Life 3 entry for flat screen gaming. Or they just do one Half-Life 3 in both Alex and Gordon are maybe part of it in some way that you can play as them, or it could go either way. But
Sure.
Gordon hasn't died in the original 1, 2 and episodes, right? So
Yep.
he also hasn't solved whatever's happening.
He
So
hasn't
we
done
know,
anything.
even without Half-Life Alex, we know like there's unfinished business in this
of course,
narrative that
100%.
people are clamoring to find out more, and Alex just reinforces that. Yep, he's still got work to do. Like basically, and yeah. So come on already, like stop. Just take a break from releasing porn games on Steam.
I don't
Like
think
cut
that's
something out. If you got too much on your plate, like cut something out. That's just a suggestion. Maybe
I
some-
don't
What they
think
make
they-
the potential Half-Life 3 developers do. They're like, hey, I was thinking maybe today, boss, I was going to work on Half-Life 3. No, you have to go launch
yeah,
more
well, somebody-
porn games on Steam. Someone has to press the button to add to store page, and it's going to be you.
Whatever. But like, I'm just saying, like, they got no excuses. Like, at a certain point, you're just like, I'm glad they released Alex. It probably took a lot to do, so they're working hard. But we need to start hearing. I need a teaser.
They will. Look, it's.
I need a Half-Life 3
imagine-
logo and.
But imagine being one. You own one of the most popular, explosively controversial, high expectation properties in the history of IPs. Like Half-Life 3 is up there with the biggest thing ever. Like it just is. And so I'm not surprised it's taken them a long time to decide how to execute. And maybe VR was an off step where they could say, all right, well, we want to master this, and then we're going to make some decisions. Like, is this the future? And is it the only future?
This is the Blizzarditis too. It's like at a certain point, just hurry up and fail. Like get it over with, right? When you're like, oh, I don't want to do this dangerous thing because I'm scared, and I'm scared, and you drag it out for 5 hours. Like get on the freaking roller coaster and try it once, or just walk away from it entirely, right?
When
You
did
know what
two-
I mean? Like that's that kind of paralysis that you get when it's like, yeah, just release it. Like do your best, but like accept on some level that maybe it will be not well received.
When was two was 04? Yeah, that's oh my gosh, my son was 4, he's 22 now.
I just have a hard time believing like it would be, it could be poorly received, but I have a hard time believing that they're not going to put out a quality product given what they've been able to do with the Portals and the Half-Life. So, I think when you reach a certain pedigree, it seems like it becomes an excuse at a certain point. At a certain point, you got to release a game, right? Like, because we don't live forever. Like, even nobody lives forever. Like, let's go. Give yourself
also-
5 years.
I also think that it's tricky because while I do love the world and I do appreciate the story of Half-Life, I don't think the story is so good that just telling a good story is enough for Half-Life 3. Like Half-Life has always been a bit of a technical showpiece.
Yeah, it needs to be
like
that
every
again.
time it comes out, and I feel like that's what it would need to be again. Like if they put out a
Agreed.
game that looked like a slightly better Half-Life 2, like in terms of graphics, and then it was just the continuation of that story, I think there would be general disappointment around it.
I'm
Because
sure they
every
could do
time
it,
a
though.
Half-Life has come out, it's been groundbreaking. Even Alex in VR
Doom
is
did it twice.
groundbreaking because it's VR.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
like Doom did it twice in recent memory. It rebirthed Doom in a good state, and then Doom Eternal was an even better remix, arguably for many.
Yeah.
On the next one, in the time that Valve has done the VR thing, but they could also be concurrently working on upping their games. Like their monster variety is so low. There's so many ideas out there. Like, let's go get some monster variety. Like, get some pepper on it. Like at some point, somebody's got to like get the ship into shape. It just feels like everyone's lackadaisical and just hanging out. And it's like, puts like how long do you need? Like it didn't take you that long to do 1 or 2. You can do 3. Like it's not that insurmountable. So I don't know if it's inner turmoil about it, but
Well, there's a pretty big gap between 1 and 2. 1 was 98 and 2 was 04. I mean, that's not huge. It's definitely less time.
7
than-
years.
Yeah.
6 years.
Yeah. That's pretty long between
and
sequels.
So they've been releasing other properties. They're doing other things. And like this does count as a Half-Life entry, and that was recent. And I'm sure there's a lot of hard and innovative work on it. But I'm not saying like release it tomorrow. I'm just saying come out and say, guys, we're working on Half-Life 3. It might be 5 years. Just stop being cagey about it. Like, just say it. Like, just,
I don't think they're being cagey. I don't think they're being cagey.
A logo and coming soon.
Yeah, but they're not being cagey. They're just not saying anything. They've never said anything. So
I know, but the problem is, like, it's been such a thing. Maybe they're smarter, and this is the best way to be a tease.
Yeah.
But, like, personally, I got that ending. That game came out in 2020. We're closing in on 2023. 3 years is long enough to say, like, okay, let's toss up a logo and make a commitment. Just put a ring on it already. That's what I'm saying, you know.
Well, I would love that. I'm ready for... I'm sick of
Put a ring on it. Make it official. You pretty much all but did, but I hate doubting, and maybe this is just Reaper of Souls trauma, but I don't want to wait for something that's not going to happen because of this kind of stuff.
Sure.
Diablo 3 did it to me, and I don't want these guys to do it to me.
A good point. All right, let's move on to Soundfall. What is that?
So I got a couple of gems, actually. I had a really good week of trying games out. Soundfall is a twin-stick shooter where you can only do your dashes, shooting, and sword swings to the beat. It has 100 songs, not like cheesy MIDI songs, but full-on pop songs. It's got metal, it's got orchestral. Hard to stream because, you know, DMCA and all that. But this here is like an EDM level, so it's like really sick synth, really good stuff. The music is super catchy. It's like a poppy neon world, and basically every time you dash or use your gun, you got to do it on the beat, or else you don't. You do like you have like a reduced amount of damage significantly, or you're not invulnerable when you dash.
Oh, it sounds like Dungeon or Necrodancer.
Crypt of the Necromancer, except the movement is free, so you only have to do actions on the beat, not the movement.
Interesting.
But it looks way better than. Cause I was like, let me try Crypt of the Necrodancer, and I looked at a picture of it. I was like, nah, I'm not going to do that.
Well, yeah, this
this game to me is just way more appealing. It's 4 players, so you and up to 4 other people can play together doing the music thing, and you got to try and beat the level before the song's done. If not, the song loops. But it features 100 songs in 10 different genres. There's 10 worlds. I've only gotten to through 4 of them. I started the 5th one, so I've done like. Swing brass, like kind of a Latin vibe. I've done orchestral. I've done pop, EDM, and metal. There's a metal level, which is all rock songs with electric guitars and a volcano. This game is fantastic. It's probably my second favorite game I've played after Alex. You get into the Zen place where you're hitting the beat, but it's a twin-stick shooter. It features also defaulted auto-aim, which is actually kind of nice, so you can focus on your timing more than trying to aim. You can't really turn it off because I tried, so... Because it is quite a challenge plugging your brain in to try and make sure you do it all, but this game's fantastic. Big thumbs up and recommend if you can play timing games. Not everyone's music timing is not for everyone. You might find it challenging. The other thing you can do with this is there's free play, and you can upload your own songs.
Oh, that's
so,
cool.
Like, I uploaded the There Will Be Dungeons song that Kristen and I did and played to that one. You can upload your own music, whatever your favorite music is. It won't be part of the campaign, but there's a free play mode. This game also features Diablo-like gear. It isn't a super big, robust system, but that's a bazooka, but you can get a cauterizer, you can get a boombox, you can get all different kinds of weapons and armor. So it features a drop system. But it's more like a traditional levels game. Like there's 10 worlds, in each world there's 10 levels, so there's 100 levels plus bonus levels, and you progress through it. But I just really love the presentation. The monster variety is also really good. They all feature their own special mechanics, and as you get deeper into the game, they get harder and harder, shoot more projectiles, move more, are faster. Fantastic. I really would like to play this game with some other people because I think it would get really chaotic and fun.
Is it?
I love this game. Like
what was I gonna say? The you get kind of a bullet hell vibe a little bit.
Yep, there's especially in sort of the last level, it gets really intense. The arenas. Yeah, and there's a bullet hell aspect to it. I'm looking forward to it getting even harder. I'm not even halfway through the game. I've done 40% of it, and it already can feel the challenge ramping. It has torment levels, challenge levels, so you can also play on easy, intermediate, or hard. And I think there might be one more. So you can replay the levels in harder modes for even more bullet hell action. So yeah, this is and the crime of this game is like, never heard of it. It came out this year, I think maybe 6 months ago, maybe 3 months ago. Never heard of it. I randomly got a Steam thing for it. Sometimes it's like daily special or something.
Yeah.
I'm like, I never heard of this game.
I mean, that just
I
says,
couldn't find it anywhere. Like, it's
Yeah.
barely any videos on it. I'm like, this is an amazing, like, obviously it's a smaller team that's made it. Might even be indie.
oh, it's definitely indie. Yeah.
It's a solid program package, no bugs, amazing. How am I not heard of this game? I found it to be a crime. Like,
Steam Deck verified too. I can get this on the deck, man. Look at that.
get it
Oh,
on the
man,
deck.
he's in.
I'm in.
It's a
He's
controller
in.
game. No mouse and keyboard. Definitely want controller.
Yeah.
It's like playing an instrument, playing this game. So, yeah, it's an absolute crime that I feel like I've done the most publicity for this game, talking about it here than this game's ever had. And we're watching it on stream. It's great. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun. So
I love how the world's
my
just
full support.
Everything's throbbing to the beat in the world.
Yeah. There's a full vibe always. Everything's timing. Even the enemy projectiles, they time like 1, 2, and then on the third beat they shoot their projectiles. So you have time. Like everything's synced up to the beat, and it's just well done. And like I like pixel art and stuff, but I can't really judge Crypt of the Necrodancer. I should play it. I own it, but never played it.
Yeah.
So maybe that's good. So I can't really judge, but the art and particularly some of the songs have lyrics and like they're full pop songs. They're really like you're just bobbing your head. You're like, yeah, I'm in the club, killing dudes, with my laser gun. So 2 thumbs up on this one.
All right.
Go check it out, and if it's your jam, buy it for sure.
Seems good.
This is a buy.
Like I love, I like my
yeah.
dual stickers. This seems like a fun way to change that up. So
This is really big 2 thumbs up. Now I got to move on because I have lots of games that new games to talk about.
yeah, you're a busy boy this week.
I have finally played, I think, a worthy successor. Still, jury's kind of out, but even today, I wished I was playing the game than doing core. That's how good, and I like doing core, so that's how good this game is. Farthest Frontier was in early access as of yesterday, or the day before, Tuesday. This is made by Crate Entertainment, the makers of Grim Dawn.
That's right. And
this game, I am pleased to report, is a full Banished-like game. The fundamentals of Banished are in here all the way. But if you played a lot of Banished, like I have, and just want more mechanical depth, sexier graphics, more to do, this is Banished Plus. This is as close to a sequel to Banished as you're going to find, as far as I can tell. There's stuff I don't love about it. The menus are kind of big. I want to be able to shrink some of the menus and have a lot of different menus on screen because that's how I play Banished. But those are sort of personal preferences. The underlying gameplay so far is generational management. People will die. You can't have too many people die at once or else you lose a lot of workers and your town doesn't eat. It all comes crumbling down like a house of cards. And it's all not obvious. There's no UI to help you. You just got to know your people and know the rhythms of society in these simulators. The great stuff that's new in this game is people poo. So you have to have someone go collect the poo.
Finally.
Or they get dysentery. So you get like they call it like something nice, but it's essentially poo. You got to put it in the compost yard. And then you can use that poo to fertilize your farmland. So there's a lot more interconnectedness in the jobs. Grain attracts rats. You got to get rat catchers. There's tons more professions. And a lot more to the simulation. It also features combat, which part of what I liked about Banished was its combat-free stuff, but here it's pretty good. The combat is wolves and boars and such, wildlife that's dangerous, pretty realistic. And some of the guys are cowards. This one girl, Luara, was getting chased by a wolf, and 2 men were in the area, and one ran towards it, and one, upon seeing the wolf, turned around and ran the other way like a coward. Cariolis, you suck. But that is a really this is a really there's Bromont, he's dead. So when people die, if you don't have a graveyard, the bodies rot and they attract predators. So it's dangerous to leave dead bodies lying around. The great thing about these Banished games is that a lot of the mechanics in it are a simulation of how things are in life. Yeah. And you've got to find the solutions for them, but there's even more of them. And Crate has done a great job. The trees are luscious. The graphics are great. The music, not as classic as Banished, but next best thing. The music, it puts you in a zone of being on the frontier. This is...
Let me ask you this.
This might edge out Half-Life Alyx for Game of the Year for me.
Wow.
This game is... I love Banished, and this is a love letter to Banished so far. So I'm very happy with what they've launched.
So is the only problem I have with Banished is for some of us who would like slightly less intense fare, I was hoping they'd have more like granular
they have difficulty modifiers here.
Okay.
So less dysentery, less attacks from bandits. So you also have guards and bandits, less attacks from bandits. And you can have like a lush. They do have difficulty sliders. So you can get an easier experience, but some of the things that make these games challenging are still going to be present, and they can't slider it out.
It's just fine with me.
Sudden losses in workers, management of workers, etc., which like you have to know your supply chain. So usually what happens is a bunch of people get sick. Maybe you don't have the healer, then you're not making food. Then a bunch of people die. A bunch of kids become more, and it's dominoes out of. That's how this game works. Like things will domino out of control. But the easier mode might be more forgiving. But in most of these sim games, your people are kind of immortal. Like SimCity, you don't track who lives and dies. It doesn't matter. Even in a lot of more granular ones, you just kind of have generic units and the people manage their own lives. You just do the units. This is like, no, Gary collects poo. And when Gary dies, no one will collect the poo. And if you're not paying attention, poo builds up in the house and everyone gets worms. And then everyone's sick and you're going, how did this happen? And you weren't paying attention, so you'll never know. But
Gary the poo picker is crucial.
Gary
Don't
is
forget.
Important.
Yeah, everyone needs their Gary. And if he dies, who's picking up poo? Nobody is the answer.
No. So if anyone listening is a fan of Banished, this game is basically Banished with better graphics and more mechanical depth, and it's still in early access. I'm excited to see what else is coming down the line, but it's definitely worth the buy-in price at this time.
Yeah, they're a cool developer. I think I kind of just want to buy it.
It's so strange. They're like an ARPG, and they're like, you know what? It's what it feels like to me is like, oh, these people get me. Like I like ARPGs. They make an ARPG that's that's well regarded. I haven't played it, but I can see how it's good. And they're like, what do we do for our next game? Let's make Banished. I was like, that's a good move. Yeah. that's a pro move right there. That's like best. Like I love them so much right now.
All right. Well, I love me some city builders, so it sounds really good.
Yeah. Next up, we got Star Valor, which I just bought because John said it looked interesting at the end of last week's show. And
the hardest sell I've ever had to make.
I regret it just because I didn't need to buy it because I got so many games to play.
Oh, but I wanted to check this out. How is this?
It's like Freelancer or Elite Dangerous, but top down. When I'm playing it, I'm like, maybe I should just play Elite Dangerous.
Yeah.
But it's its own kind of fun. I just want to say casual fun. It's a hardcore game where if you die, you got to reload. Yeah. And it can be pretty intense, Well, it has a hardcore mode. I'm playing on the not hardcore mode. But like the combat is pretty intense and unforgiving. I get owned constantly by pirate ships.
I feel like a game like this, what I like about the top-down perspective is I do like when games take a genre and give me a different way to play the genre. And so sometimes that's just as simple as let's pull the camera way out. Instead of me being in some ship, I have to figure out how to land and deal with fuel and all the other bullshit you have to do.
Yeah, and all that stuff's made pretty simple and easy, whereas like a lot of like EVE Online and Elite Dangerous, like manage your hard points and you got to manipulate the ship, and it's just like it's a lot.
Yeah,
it's like it's a lot here too, but just because it's on a single screen, it's like kind of a little more
a tactical thing going on.
Yeah, and I think because of the low graphics, there's actually a lot. Oops, yeah, you can crash into things. There's a lot more. There's a lot of variety because the stuff's not it's not exactly. Has to program a new ship in Blender every time there's a new ship, right? It's like it's a JPEG and some animations. Like I'm sure it's like not hard to make a new ship in this game. Like
Yeah. Interesting. Star Valor. This is the one
it's called
John
Star
mentioned.
Valor,
Okay.
and it's made by one guy apparently.
Oh, really?
I press the wrong button all the time. You see me shooting my mining laser at the bad guy ships.
Yeah, you don't want to mine them. You want to kill them.
Just mine them. I want to mine them for resources.
It seems all right. I like games like
spot
this.
That makes me look cool. I killed 2 ships.
Structurally, I'm really into this, so I may have to grab it. How much?
Like I said, I enjoyed it. The mistake was not that it was bad. It's just it's actually quite enjoyable. It's just I bought Soundfall and Farthest Frontier. Like I got all these games to play, and this game is like it definitely looks like borders on the many hours to play. But yeah, it's good.
One guy, yeah, wow. His name is Raphael Burgos, and he's a genius or something.
We called him Raphael Burgers.
Burgers last week.
Yep, that's right.
I remember now.
That's right.
All right, now that one's on my list. I think I'm gonna have to check that one out. All right, finally, more StarCraft 2.
Yeah, more StarCraft 2. Of course, I found time to play my Zero Tool. So
that's fantastic.
Anyways, that's my
I love that you found a way to get that in there. All right, quick emails today.
That's a good question.
Here's one, talktothecore@gmail.com, by the way. This is from somebody named Big John. It's not our John, but he spells his name the same. So just for whatever that's worth. Currently listening to episode 326, and the VR talk about Alex is great. But if you have a VR and haven't played Boneworks, you are missing out. I hope that one for all of you will give this a try. It's a weird way of saying that. Anyway, I'm confident that you will enjoy it. Please stream it if you can. Big John. I haven't heard of this. Boneworks. Bo?
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, that's one definitely on my... I'm glad you wrote in. Thank you, Big John, for writing your big email and telling me about this game, because it's definitely... It's the Portal of VR games.
Yeah.
It's sort of what it looks like, but you have a gun and you go into all these weird things. But it has that Stanley Parable Portal kind of... you're in a weird realm now kind of deal. So yeah, appreciate it. Like I've looked at it and been like, I don't know, this company is actually making a follow-up which should launch soon, so there's a part of me that wants to be like, let me play the latest and not this. Wait for a sale maybe, but yeah, seems pretty sweet.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm looking at it here.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where you just it's puzzle-based physics manipulator thing that looks like, no, maybe we'll play it.
It looks wild. It's reviewed well. Been out since 2019.
It's often on the featured and top lists in various places I've gone to. So yeah,
I feel like I've never heard of that. All right, so there's that one. Nick wrote in, says, "Hey Scott, just listen to your takes on the Steam Deck. I'm glad that you like the device, and I think it is a very impressive piece of hardware. Also, I use the back buttons for start and select, as they are a little awkward for me on the deck. Also for L and R, left and right 3, meaning the click downs for the other two. It sounds like you won the deck lottery, as I had to return my device twice, and this third one seems to be really good. The fan issue is a real complaint. I had the good fan on my first device, but the bad fan on my second, which had a high-pitched whine to it. That is the talk out there. They had 2 different fans going around. Mine's the normal one, or the good one, I guess. Anyway, my son is going to the it's the University of Utah, for college in graphic design. How do you feel that line of work has helped you? I don't know much about your background in art and was just curious. Also, the weather needs to go, Nick. Well, it's just hot right now.
Well, you definitely heard from a local, that's for sure.
Definitely did. Although, go to Phoenix where John is.
Also, how's the weather? What's going on?
Compared to where you are, it's nothing.
Was this your young lad, Nick?
No, this different dude. My Nick has.
I was gonna say I didn't tell you he had a kid.
Yeah, I was gonna say Nick is 22 and no kid, thankfully. Anyway,
he's already going to university for college at like 8 months old.
So the point of the Steam Deck, I've read up on this a bunch. Basically, they have. Well, I think all the new ones you're getting now are all going to be the good fan. But the previous fan had a whine to it, and it drove people crazy. But mine doesn't do that. To the issue of the graphic design stuff, I took graphic design in college also, and it was a huge help for me because that's what I did for most of my working for the man life until I quit and started doing what I'm doing now full time, which is both graphic design / illustration / cartooning plus podcasting, like this whole thing I do. And all of that was huge in all of it. So I think he's up there taking the right courses for the right thing, especially if he likes it. So no issues there. Email me. I can give you some more info. I guess you did email me. I could reply back with more info.
Email me.
Yeah. Hey, emailer, email me.
Could you email me?
That's it for emails. If you want to send us emails, talktothecore@gmail.com is the email address to use. and we'd love to hear from you. Also want to thank everybody over at patreon.com/core show for supporting the show. If it isn't for you guys, we wouldn't probably have a show. It's really important that we have your support, and we do. You guys are great. We love you, but we need more of you. So sign up today and become a patron today. Head on over to patreon.com/core show. And a shout out to everybody who does. You'll be getting great stuff this month for your support. Be like them. Like I said before, talk to the core at gmail.com. Our website is frogpants.com/core. And we'd like to let John kind of sum things up in old lady voice at the end of the show right now. That's the current gig we're doing. All right? It may change down the road. We used to do words of wisdom. Now we're doing this. You never know. But, John, we need the old lady. So sum up how today's show went for old lady Jagger over there.
Well, if you're curious what video games everybody got up to today, we've got a few for you. Scott continues to go through all of Steam to see what's Steam Deck compatible, a feature that is already clearly listed in the store, but he has taken it upon himself to personally verify. He played Ukulele 2, Saints Row the Third, Lego City Undercover, Witcher 3, GTA 5, he wrote that weird, Alan Wake, Party Hard 2, Ace Combat 7, and Into the Breach. And when he wasn't testing Steam Deck games, he was playing 2 Point Campus and Mafia 3. John, on the other hand, finally played a mobile game. He played The Last Campfire, and Fantasian, and then he played Solitaire, a game I invented. He played Tower of Fantasy, because, I don't know, boobies. And then he played Final Fantasy VIII and Cult of the Lamb. Bo finished Half-Life Alyx, so that's the last time we get to talk about it. Soundfall, Farthest Frontier, Star Valor, and StarCraft 2, because he likes games with Star in the title.
It's true, Grandma.
It is true.
Yeah.
Do we have any no disputes with Grandma's take on today's thing, Bo? We feel good about her summation.
All right.
It's all right.
It was all right.
It was okay. Excellent.
I mean, don't ask me stuff. It's like we're like almost 11 o'clock. I'm about to fall over.
Yeah, you're about to pass out. Look how late it is for you.
I'm
My
just
God.
tired already. I hit
long
10
show.
o'clock and I just started to fade hard.
Well, you know what you're going to do. You're going to fade, and then you're going to go play that Banished reboot. And
Yeah, I
everything
know.
will-
This is why I'm tired. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's like I'm gonna go to bed and then a few more hours of Banished.
Yeah.
I'm like,
You're preemptively tiring yourself for a thing
I
you're
should
about
go to
do.
bed immediately, but you're not wrong. I may go. Let me play an hour of Farthest Frontier.
I don't blame you.
And go to bed.
I don't blame you. I got deck games to play, so I get it. Anyway, that is going to do it for us. Thank you all for listening. Go play some games. We'll see you next week. Oh, whoops, that didn't go right. Hold on. We'll see you next... Wait, why isn't it working? We'll see you next week.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network. Yes. Get more at frogpants.com.
And with the skill of an old sea dog, I slide her smoothly into port.
See, that Lego game, they make little jokes that only adults